Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Okay, first of all, before I get into this vlog at all, I have to tell you guys the exciting news. You are on my brand new tripod that just came in the mail today. Because Karen recommended I look on, she said there's tons of those tripods on Etsy. So the other day I went on Etsy, and you know what I just realized is that it delivered my Whitney Houston one. I bought 2 Whitney Houston t-shirts, 2 Stevie Nicks t-shirts, 2 tripods, something else. But it said it delivered my, well, maybe they put it in the mailbox. Maybe they didn't put it on the front step. I'll have to go look. Anyway, so Karen suggested, she said, they have a ton of the tripods that you want on Etsy, or eBay, sorry, on eBay. So I went over to eBay and I looked, so thank you, Karen, and they had like tons of these tripods because they're so old that they don't, sell them like on Amazon or any place like that anymore. So they had tons of these, and I ordered 2 of them. They were literally, the other ones I was buying were like $20 each. And these were like, one was $9 and one was $9.95. I mean, and you had to pay for shipping and handling as well. So I think they came to like $14 each. But these are the tripods that I use that I love. But I wanted to show you what is so funny about it. Where's my glasses? Okay. So I put the camera on it. This is the part right here. Do you see this? This is the part that leans over, okay? And no matter how hard you tighten it with this thing right here, it's as tight as it will possibly go. And at some point, this just kind of gets loose and just won't continue to work anymore. Okay, so when the tripod falls, what I mean by that is that these legs go in and out like this. But you see, like, you have to kind of like pop them into place. But even when you pop them into place, they sometimes go out. So that's what it means when the tripod falls. Okay. So I put the camera on the new tripod. I only got one of them so far. I didn't get another one. There's something like on the screen. It's like this black spot right in front. If I touch this, it's gonna, okay, oh, it's gonna put me out of focus. Anyway, let me pull this back down again. Okay, there's like this little box, and if you touch the screen on the camera, it moves. It does, anyway. So I put the camera on here, and I was like, oh my God, this is literally like magic. I mean, this is so tight. Do you see, like, this just like goes around and around and around? This part on my new tripod that I just got in the mail is so tight, okay? So this part is perfect. It's not like moving side to side. And do you see, I don't know if you can see this, if I'm showing it correctly, but this just keeps on going around and around and around. You really can't tighten it at all. So when I talk about tightening the camera, that's what I'm talking about. I know this is probably so boring to people, but since I've talked about the tripod for so long, but I set it up and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfection. Like, the tripod's not gonna fall or anything anymore. As soon as I set it up, the one leg went down like that. I was like, oh my God. Because the legs, you pop them into place. Do you see? You pop them into place, but they still don't stay. So the legs on the tripod are not great, but let me show you what I love about this tripod. Okay, first of all, it's super simple to use. Like, I mean, some of the tripods that you get are very complicated. This one, you literally just wind the camera on the top of it. That's how easy it is, okay? Then when you put it all together, for traveling, this is so easy to travel with. Do you see? So this is why I like the tripod. It is called the Sun Pack. If you're looking for a tripod, it's $9.99 or $9 on eBay. There's probably tons of them left. It is called the Sun Pack. I actually should look it up and see. I think it's the Sun Pack. The packaging is in the garage. I just threw it away in the garage. Hold on a second. eBay. We'll look it up and see. Sun Pack. Was it Etsy or eBay that I bought it on? No, I don't remember. Oh, no, it must have been eBay, because here's all of my searches for my Stevie Nicks t-shirts. Oh, well, then you recently viewed items. Well, then it should probably show my, it's not showing those on here. Okay. Sun Pack Mini D Tripod. I think that's how you spell Sun Pack. Yep, here they all come up. Here's one for $14.99. It's SUNPAK, the Mini D Tripod. Platinum plus easy carry. It comes with all this other stuff in there, but here's one for $8.78. Oh, here's a pre-used one for $4, $9.95, $15, $16.99, $5.95. I mean, there's tons of them on here. Karen, you have no idea how much I appreciate you mentioning this to me. I mean, I thought about it a while ago, and then I kind of like totally forgot about it. So I got, the other tripod is coming on the way, so I have 2 of these now. The leg will still fall, but at least it's tightened. And what I didn't want was, I don't know if you can see this on here, if this will make sense. But there's like a screw Like you can see it's kind of like worn down at this point. It's like really flat. But it's, so you can't even like really screw this because it won't. Okay. So this part goes into the camera, right? But like this will not stay. Like it won't. At some point, it usually like on another one, it usually like sticks, but this one won't stick. It just keeps on going and going and going, which means you have to keep on winding the camera. Well, what ends up happening is that the little, what's that called? I don't know, the washer or whatever inside the camera, it gets worn down. So at some point you have to buy a new part for that camera, or you have to buy a new camera, which is what I had to do the last time. So $600 camera, $995 tripod. I think, you know, let's do the math. But I did want to say this. So I ordered these 2 new tripods the other day, and I wasn't super happy about it. But somebody mentioned on my video, this one, they said that you pop it up. So I'm going to have to look at this more. But they commented on my video, and they said, oh, it says push. What does that do? Push. It said you like, it will extend. Oh, this is what they meant. Okay, you pull it up like this. I'm gonna have to work with this one a little bit because this one might be a good one too. Oh, I see what they're saying. It'll like move up here like this. Oh, okay. Well, this might be a good one too. Oh, this might be a real good one. Okay, except this thing is like not tightening, but I can figure that out later. Okay, this is actually not a bad one either. And this is the Alonzi one that I got. So I didn't know that it stretched out like that because I'm a total idiot. So somebody messaged me the other day. They're like, you just pull it out at the top, Peter. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's not bad. I like that. And then you just push it in and it's small like that. So now I have so many tripods. We're set to tripod. Okay, I just got some coffee. I was like, you know what? It is a gray day outside. It is raining. My plan was, I actually made my list last night. I didn't want to tell you my video ideas. But I actually have a whole list of videos that I was going to make today. Do you want to know what my drama video is? My drama video is something that somebody sent me. I have all the screenshots and I have all of the receipts for that. And then I was going to do some meditations on my Peterisms channel. And then I was going to review something that... anyway, we'll get to that when I actually review it. And then I was going to open this stuff from my Peter Does Stuff channel. And then on my TV channel, I was going to do the announcement of the Housewives. And then on my BookTube channel, I was going to do my Alex Cross reviews. But I woke up today... and I wasn't feeling like horribly anxious when I woke up today. I felt a little bit shaky when I woke up. I would say more so than I usually do, but not horribly so. But it took me a little bit of time to wake up, and I stayed up super, super late last night, and I was like, you know what? I think other than vlogging, everybody's watching the Super Bowl, everybody's getting ready. Everybody that I've been talking to on the phone is like, oh, I'm going grocery shopping today for the Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. And I don't watch the Super Bowl. I know most people don't watch the Super Bowl. Alex is one of his friends, like, invited us over there, and I was like, you can go, I don't really want to go. And he was like, okay. He was like, I'm not sure I'm going to go or not. I said, babe, if you want to go, go. I'll just sit here and read and watch TV. So I don't even know. I have absolutely no interest in the Super Bowl whatsoever. But everybody that I know is like so excited about the Super Bowl and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I think like people probably won't be on TV or on TV. People, you're on candid camera. People won't be watching a ton of videos this weekend. And I know people will say when I say that, well, I'm not interested in the Super Bowl either, and I need videos to make. So I'm like, you know what? Today and tomorrow, I will try to do, you know, like good vlogs, not like 45-minute vlogs. I'll try to do like, you know, an hour to an hour and a half vlogs. But other than that, I think I'm going to just read and watch some TV shows and stuff. I have so many TV shows to watch, but I also got caught up on so many TV shows last night as well. So I think, unless I wake up tomorrow, he said he's probably not going to go to this party. I was like, babe, you can go if you want. I don't really care. It's just a couple hours. Go if you want to go. He was like, no. He's like, I don't know that I really care. I mean, he doesn't really care about the Super Bowl either. He would just go, you know, to be with his friends. I was like, babe, if you want to go, go. I have, you know, Tanya invited us over there too. I was like, I'm not going over to Tanya's. I don't, I know people will be like, you should go. That's not like a one-on-one thing for me. Like, if I've gone over to Tanya's for the Super Bowl in the past, and when I go over there, I mean, it's a lot of people watching a football game. We've done it with Caroline's house too. It's like people watching the football game. People want to watch the football game. They don't want to sit in the corner and have a conversation like I do about TV shows. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm interested in. So I won't be doing anything for the Super Bowl tomorrow. I will be watching TV shows, binge watching TV shows, and that. So, and I don't know, he'll probably just stay at home too. But anyway, I think last year we did watch who was the halftime show last year? I feel like he did turn it on to watch the halftime show. Was it Beyonce last year, 2024 Super Bowl halftime show? Who was it? I don't even know who it was. Who was it last year? Oh, was it? It says Usher? Who is the 2024? Usher, Alicia Keys, Ludacris. I don't remember that. Maybe we didn't watch that last year. I don't remember what we did for the Super Bowl last year. But you know what? Listen, I don't dog anybody that gets excited about stuff. Get excited about it, My dad and my stepmom love it. My mom used to love it and all that kind of stuff, I have at it if you want to have it. I just have no interest in it whatsoever. It's like, and what's interesting is that I used to love like a lot of award shows. I was talking about the Grammys the other day. Like the Academy Awards are really the only ones that I really have that much interest in anymore. And even now, I don't have as much of an interest in it as I used to. It's kind of weird how stuff changes like that for you, through life. Like, I still get excited about the Academy Awards. I was thinking the other day, I was like, are you going to watch these movies? Like, the only way that I'll get excited about it this year, I like seeing what people have on and stuff like that, but in all honesty, I don't even really care that much anymore about that, I think they look beautiful and stuff like that, but I don't even care that much about it. I don't know, like, it's interesting, the whole, like, Academy Award thing. So I grew up, well, before I get into some stories, let me just say, so got this cup on Amazon. I love this cup. I'm actually thinking about, they have this in pink and black as well. I'm thinking about ordering it in pink and black too. They were like $19.95 and they're really sturdy and they hold up. I got it like a year and a half ago. So I wanted to be a little shiny. That should be my thumbnail today. I wanted to be a little shiny and happy today, so I brought this out to pair with my candle that Mare sent me. So this is the other candle that I was talking about. By the way, the Mythology candle that she sent me yesterday, Shakespeare Stage, that smells like melon, but it's really like more smells like amber and lemon. It is so good, you guys. I had it lit next to the table next to me. It was so, so, so good last night while I was watching TV. Okay, so this one is from Candier, and it is called True Crime TV is My Therapy. And it says on here, I read it on my Peter Does Stuff channel too when I did the unboxing, but it says, when primetime reality television just doesn't cut it for you anymore, it's time to spice up your streaming choices. Sure, you're probably going to have nightmares, but those oh my god, I had such a bad nightmare last night. We'll have to get into that in just a second. But those unsolved mysteries aren't going to solve themselves, are they, babe? XO. Are they, babe? XO. Alex has been watching that Dexter. I think he finished it, the original Sin one. Kind of sounds like Dexter a little bit. Okay, so you ready? Isn't that so pretty? Now this one, when I pulled it out of the box, I said it smelled like nutmeg and cinnamon, and on here it says, smells like cinnamon, ginger, almond, nutmeg, butter, and vanilla. I'm going to look at these candles really, really quick before I get into my Oscar story. I want to see how this burns with all these sequins on here. Look how pretty that is. What a pretty candle. Okay, Candier candles. I'm gonna look this up really quick. By the way, I have been like interchanging this like the under eye. So when I wake up in the morning, this is like something they don't tell you like past 50. I haven't had a drink in over 30 years. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I get the worst bags under my eyes. Do you see this? I get the worst bags. And it only started like in the last 2 years. I drink so much water. I mean, I stay hydrated. I drink so much water and I wake up and literally like the bags under my eyes are so bad. So last week I bought some of that Dr. Brandt's No More Baggage eye cream. It's supposed to take your eye bags away in like 5 minutes. I don't know if you can see on here. Okay, it's supposed to take your eye bags away in 5 minutes. Actually, this would be a good place for me to do the review of it. So it's now been, let's see, it's now been about an hour since I've had it on. Do we see any bags? Okay, I think we see bags. So what's interesting is I have been like, before that, I love the Alpen eye cream. And there's like 2 other things that I've been like interchangingly using, like for under eye stuff. What's interesting about it is, and I used to love like the disco one, but it's like they don't have it anymore. The disco rollerball under eye thing, it was probably my favorite. Oh my God, this candle is so pretty. It's just like the sequins kind of like light it up even more. But I've been like interchangeably using the under eye cream. If anybody has a suggestion for like one that takes your bags away under your eyes and you swear by it, let me know in the comment section below. I'm willing to try anything. Throughout the day, once I like, you know, drink water and stuff like that and I get my day started, they kind of naturally go away after a couple hours. But in the morning, I mean, like, they are bad. They are really, really bad. And it's just something that started a couple years ago. It's interesting. I was, like, Tanya and I always joke about it. I'm like, girl, do you have the bags under your eyes? She's like, yes. I was like, well, did it hit you at like, she's like, yeah, right around 50 is when it started to me. It's like things they don't tell you that happen. Like, just start having like little, you wake up with like aches and pains that you're like, I don't even know. And then, you know, like Alex will say like, well, did you sleep wrong? And I'm like, no, I slept comfortably last night. You know, it's not like, you know, when you're younger and you like sleep wrong on something, you know, it's like you sleep with your neck like that and you wake up and your neck hurts. But now, like, as you get older, you sleep comfortably, you sleep perfectly fine, but you wake up and you still have the creak in your neck and you didn't do anything wrong. It's just getting older. Like your body just, you know, it's just, they don't tell you about that stuff. They don't tell you that your metabolism slows down greatly and that you can't eat what you want to eat anymore. You know, they don't tell you any of that kind of stuff as you get older. But anyway, so the bags under the eyes thing is so bad. It's so bad, right? And so I'm like, I'm going to find, okay, so I bought like these 2 different things like 6 months ago. Well, like a year ago, but then I bought them again. They're like men's products from Target that I got, that I've talked about in other videos. And then the Alpen eye cream, and then I have another one. So I have like 4 products that I was using, and then I added, I mean, not all together. I was using them like interchange. Like one day I'd use one, another day I'd use another one, that kind of thing. So then I bought the Dr. Brandt's, the No More Baggage eye cream. Okay, so I was going to just do a review of that. I think I'm going to do a review comparing my favorites, like least to worst, because there's one that I use that literally, as soon as I use it, it takes it away. And it's like $10, and the Dr. Brandt's is supposed to take it away in 5 minutes. So I didn't use it like the first day or 2 because I was going to do a review of it. And I got some comments after I did my like haul showing it. And people were like, oh my God, you're going to get so addicted to it. It works so great. Like, I love it. And other people said like it stretches out your skin around your eyes. And so like over a long period of time, like it just makes the skin loose around your eyes, which kind of made me a little nervous. And I was like, does it really work that well? Like, does it tighten your eyes up? Like, I mean, I was like, it must tighten your eyes up like so much, right? Do not buy it. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to do my full review on it, but like if you've heard me talk about it, I hope to God that people didn't see me. This is why like people are like, why don't you link the stuff that you buy in a haul? Because if I had linked that $48 eye cream, I would feel bad that anybody had gone and bought it. I was really excited about it. It does not work. It does not work. I have used it several days. I don't know what people are swearing by. It says on there that you can use it before your eye cream, after your eye cream. I've used it alone, or you can use it alone. I've used it alone. I've used it with the Alpen eye lotion. I've used it with other things. I've used it, I mean, it does not work. I'm telling you right now, it does not work. I'm not really sure. And the other thing that's interesting about it is it's kind of like this brown consistency that it's almost kind of like, it looks a little bit like concealer a little bit. And so I'm like, well, is that what it is? I mean, is it just like taking the blemishes away? I'm so confused about it. But anyway, I'm going to be doing that review in a few days because I want to do that review of the eye cream. I'm sure it'll get thousands of views. Nobody will care. But if you want to watch that video, I am going to tell you what I think works the best. Because there's one, it's like the cheapest one, which blows me away. Also, I will say this, well, you know what, I used to actually buy this, and then the one that I bought, they don't make anymore. The Say Yes to Cucumbers. People all the time say to me, they're like, they can't find that on Amazon. They sell it everywhere. They sell it at CVS, Walmart, Meijer, everywhere. I think there probably is even a website. Let me just look this up and see if there's a website. See, it pulls up Kroger, Amazon. There's a whole Amazon store. Say yes to cucumbers. Yeah, there's a whole store right here. The face wipes, the Daily Gentle Melt Cleanser. It's okay. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know about the wipes. The Daily Eye Treatment, so it changed. The one that I used to use before was like my favorite. This new one, which is $10, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Cooling Jelly Mask, I don't think I've ever tried it. Soothing and Calming Toner. It's not a spray toner. I like a spray toner. The mud masks I've used are pretty good. Soothing Lip Balm. You know what? I might need to buy some more of these things on here because they've got products I haven't seen before. Intense Hydration Moisturizer. I don't think I've used that one. I need to look through my drawer and see what I have. Oh, they have the Cucumber Eye Treatment Bundle. So the one thing that they have in here is the under eye patches. Those are really, really good. I do love those. I'm going to go in here and buy some things. Their products are so cheap, you guys. Like, oh, here it is. Depuffer Set. Well, maybe I'll buy this one. I think I already have the eye lotion. So it's like 4 things and it's $29. I mean, they're things, for 4 products. So, their products are pretty expensive. All of a sudden a t-shirt showed up. Just a girl who loves cucumbers. What? I'm so confused. Can you not buy the things individually anymore? The eye mask things? I guess you can't. But just to put this in the idea of it all, the yes to, so if you Google search, the store is called, if you put say yes to cucumbers, it pulls up. Yes to cucumbers. Because people are always like, I can't find it. This like Daily Gentle Melt Cleanser, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I will say it lasts forever. I use it more like, if at night, like when I wake up from a nap, I kind of want to like feel refreshed. And so I go into the bathroom, I like brush my teeth and I'll wash my face, and I don't want to go in and use like, I usually use like the Tatcha in the morning and stuff like that. So I'll use that one just kind of like refresh my face, and then I like spray it with like, like a toner, and then I put on lotion and stuff like that. That's what I usually use. It lasts forever. It's $9.99. It lasts forever. And it's all the products smell like cucumbers. They're very, very refreshing. So anyway, we'll do that eye review. But about the Academy Awards. So, I grew up with my mom loving the Academy Awards. And so my mom and my aunt grew up very, very poor. And I've talked about this before. I think my mom said something like she changed like 8 or 12 schools or something. Not 12 schools, I can't remember, but I don't know how many. But she changed schools a lot growing up. Until they went to high school, that was like the only school that my mom stayed in consistently. Because they moved so much that between like elementary and junior high, they were like constantly in different like school districts and things like that. So, and they were very, very poor. My mom's dad, my grandfather, passed away when my mom was 4 and my aunt had just turned 6. And so, until my grandma got remarried, which that would have been when my mom was like in junior high, my grandmother was a single mother. In all honesty, like some of the research Caroline and I have done, we've done a little bit more than what I talk about because we don't know what we're going to do with it. We don't know if we're going to turn it into like a podcast, or if we want to try to do like a documentary with it. We don't really know what to do with it. It's a very interesting story. So the story of my grandmother is very, very interesting. It actually goes back long before. It's not just about her being in prison, but it goes back long before that. It goes back to how she was raised. And so my grandmother's mother died when my grandmother was very, very young. And my grandmother had a brother and 2 sisters. And my grandmother was the oldest. And so when she was in high school, she had to start working to help support the family. My grandmother also, like at that time, which I don't know, my mom was born in, I can't remember what year my grandma was born. So anyway, you know what I wonder? I wonder who wrote the Book of Love? Somebody just texted me. By the way, do you guys remember when I was talking about those dogs that Tanya was telling me that she wanted me to adopt? That was on the Facebook that she sent it to me, okay? But can I just tell you that they just saw it posted on the Instagram. I don't know if that's the algorithm or not. I've been posting like dogs that you can adopt. Not that I'm going to, but dogs that you can adopt. Like this is the Society of Humane Friends. look at this. Hold on a second. Can we just talk about this dog? How cute this dog is. Okay, up for adoption. Ziggy the man. Do you guys know this little senior rescue dog? I love him so much. Okay. And then, oh my God, I found this account last night, and it's called Esther Opal. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it's problematic, but it's all like Barbie dolls. Like, do you remember that show, that channel back in the day that was, what was it called? Most Popular Girls in High School. It's like that, but it's all, oh look, Marvis. Big Teefs, I love him so much. But it's like all housewife stuff. And Southern Hospitality is on there as well. And so like they have it in the sound in the background, and then they're doing like the dolls to it. Okay, here they are, Sophia and Dorothy. If you want to see on my Instagram, these are the dogs that Tanya told me that she wanted me to adopt. They are so cute. They're like a bonded pair of sisters. Their names are Sophia and Dorothy, like from the Golden Girls. Isn't that so cute? Anyway, what was I gonna look and see? Yeah, my grandma's, her obituary doesn't pull up anymore because she passed away so long ago. I mean, here's one from like 1995. Here's somebody that has the same name as her. I mean, there's all these people that have the same name as her, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, somebody reached out to me one time, and they like had done this like ancestry thing on my grandma because they were trying to help, and they're like, they watch my videos, and they're like, yay for your grandma. She's been married like 4 times. I was like, I know for a fact my grandma has not been married 4 times or something. And then I was like, where's the information? Because I can you send it to me? And they never like got back to me. But what's interesting is that my grandmother has like, there's like 5 people in Indianapolis that have like the exact same name as my grandma that lived at the exact same time as my grandma, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, so my grandmother, when she was in high school, she, like, at that point, you could, like, focus, you know, on something. Like, you could focus on, like, a class study. And she did, like, business and bookkeeping is what she did. And was, like, at the top of her class for it. Which is interesting that she ended up, you know, going to prison for, anyway, stealing the book, so to speak. Which is also weird because my mom used to say to me, like, when I was in high school, I mean, my mom at that time would have known that my grandma had gone to prison. And I can remember, like, I mean, it's almost kind of like you can't, like, it's so laughable. But I remember my mom, like, really pushing me to, like, take typing classes, taking business classes, like, really focusing on, like, I mean, to be honest with you, it's why, like, I mean, like, I keep, like, a checkbook today, like, with, like, the notes and everything. I mean, like, I write everything down in my checkbook. I'm so weird about, like, padding accounts. My mom, like, was the person, my dad, too, but, like, my mom was really the person, like, that pushed, like, really understanding all that kind of stuff when I was younger. And she would say, like, your grandmother has done so well for her. I mean, it's maddening to even think that my mom would say those things to me, you know, knowing what my grandmother had done. And then it's like, but I can remember taking typing in high school, and I was like the fastest typer in class. Like, it was like, I was so proud of that because my grandma had been like a really fast typer. And, I remember it's so weird because, well, I took typing in 9th grade. And so at that point, I think I've told this story on here before, but at that time, junior high was, the junior high that I went to was 6th through 9th grade. So high school is 10, 11, 12, and junior high was 6th through 9th grade. So the 9th grade, I'll never forget this, the typing class that I was in, right next to me was this girl, and she was so cool. I thought she was so incredibly cool. And it was so funny because I can remember, like, on the last day of school, I didn't, like, we would talk to each other, like, at the back of typing because we were, like, both of us kind of, like, real different. Although she was really, really popular. And I can remember she would, like, wear, like, 5 Swatch watches. I remember, like, in 9th grade, this girl, she, like, swooped in. We played tennis together, so that's how we knew each other because we were both in the same tennis leagues. But she, like, swooped in and was, like, in town for, like, 3 years and then swooped out. I think she was living with, like, her uncle or something. I don't know, or I don't know why she was here. But anyway, I remember, like, okay, so this would have been, if I was 14 at the time, I mean, I was born in 72, so that would have been, like, this would have been 86. I can remember she carried, like, an 86. I can see her, like, she would always wear, like, leggings every day with, like, Keds. I mean, this is a 14-year-old girl, okay? And I remember she, like, would wear, like, oversized hoodies and stuff like that with, like, a polo shirt with a collar popped, and her hair was real wild. And she would carry, like, a Louis Vuitton Speedy. In 1986, I mean, like, in junior high school. And I remember she also had, like, she wore all these Swatch watches on one watch. On the other hand, she had, like, a woman's Rolex. I mean, I did not go to like a super ritzy school. I mean, and I remember, because I was like so into like fashion and stuff like that, that I knew what those things were. I thought that that was so cool and whatever. But anyway, not just that, but like her whole style was cool. She was very different. I mean, like in 9th grade, I remember being in this typing class and she was reading, the camera stopped. I've talked about this before because somebody sent me this book. I remember she was reading the book, and the only reason I knew about this was because my mom and I had watched the movie. Or I think the movie was just coming out maybe then. Let's see what year the movie was. The movie Frances with Jessica Lange, about Frances Farmer. It came out in 1982, so it would have been out already. But the Frances Farmer is called, I think it's called I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. Frances Farmer book. I think it's called I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. Is it coming up? Will There Really Be a Morning? Yeah, it's the autobiography that she wrote. Okay. So I can remember somebody sent it to me when I talked about it the last time on here. And I have it. I still have it. I haven't read it yet. But she was like sitting next to me. What is the book about? I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. Who's that about? But she would sit there and read it next to me. Anyway, we were both like the fastest typers in class. And we also played tennis with each other. So like I knew her like, cause 3-4 nights a week we were playing tennis in the same league. So I knew her enough, but like we weren't friends. Like she was way popular and I wasn't. But like she would talk to me like when we were in typing class and stuff like that. What's crazy about that, okay, and I can remember because she and I were both like the fastest typers in class, and we sat in the very back, and like the teacher would come and like check our, this is like on old school typewriters, you guys, and she would come and check our mistakes, and everybody else is like, you know, hunting and pecking, and like it's taking them a whole hour, and so we would just sit back there and like read and talk and stuff like that. She was super wild. Well, she ended up at the end of that year, I remember she said something to me like the last day of school, she and this other friend of hers that I thought was so cool. That was so funny because years ago, she like reached out to me about something, her friend that still lives here in town. And I said to her, I said, oh my God, I thought you were so cool in school and all this. She's like, no, I thought you. She's like, you had like such cool style. You were your own person. And you have to remember, this was at a point in my life when I was like really afraid of people. Like I didn't have any friends. And I was like coming into my own musically, like kind of through my mom and my dad a little bit, really my mom. And so I was starting to wear like a lot of band t-shirts and like just, you know, I was wearing like the flannel shirts before grunge was really grunge with like a concert t-shirt underneath it, Doc Martens, that whole kind of thing, and just kind of developed my own style. It was weird because I didn't have anybody really around me until kind of like the end of that 9th grade year, which was the girls that I made that ended up becoming my friends in high school. So I can remember like that last day of school, she and her friend came up to me and they said something like, I can't remember, but they were kind of like flirty with me or something. It was kind of weird because I didn't expect it or not. And then years later, her friend reached out to me asking me like a favor or something. I can't remember what it was. And I hadn't talked to her in years and years and years. And I said, oh my God, I thought you were so cool in high school. Or in junior high. She goes like, I thought you were so cool and whatever. So that girl ended up going to a private school here. The other girl ended up going to a boarding school, which was interesting because she ended up going to boarding school. I could probably look it up and tell you where she went. But anyway, she met Winona Ryder. I don't know how. She came back the following year and like visited everybody like on a break. But she ended up being in Edward Scissorhands, Reality Bites. She was in 3 movies that Winona Ryder was in. Her and Winona Ryder became really, really good friends. I heard about it all through the grapevine because she stayed friends with other people. Somebody not too long ago that I saw was talking about her. And now she doesn't like, I don't know, she lives in some completely different city and she's like a life coach or something now. I don't know. I haven't kept up with her for years and years and years. But anyway, yeah, my mom always, to go back, my mom always taught me to, you know, take business, which I never did, business classes seriously, but typing classes. I mean, I can still to this day type. When I used to work in treatment, I can remember there was these typing tests that we would have to do on the computer, and we would take them, and I don't even remember. I typed like, it was crazy, like 120, 130 words a minute back then, like, and without even like practicing, no mistakes or anything like that. And people would be like, oh my God, how do you type so fast? I'm like, it was like the only A that I got in junior high. Anyway, cheers to Grandma for teaching me to be a good type. Well, she didn't teach me, but she had passed on by then. But so my mom and my aunt grew up really, really poor. And which I think, like, in my dad's explanation to me is why he believes that my grandma was stealing because she was trying to provide for my mom and my aunt. The only thing that doesn't really fit that story is that at the time that she would have gotten arrested would have been my mom's, like, after high school, the years that it would have happened would have been after high school. I think it would have been like my mom's, like the summer, her, I don't really know what happened. She, like, I was thinking about this the other day. It was like, I so wish, like my dad always, whenever I ask him about it, he doesn't like really know a whole lot about it. I mean, he really doesn't. I think he would tell me. I wish I would have asked more questions about my aunt. I really wish I would have pressed her on it. I mean, she told me a lot, but then she acted like she didn't remember a lot. Caroline never really asked her anything about it. I mean, my aunt and I had a lunch, and we sat down at Sullivan's up the street and talked all about it. And I mean, she got very defensive about it, and I could tell she didn't really want to talk about it, so I didn't really push the issue, but I wish I had, because, I mean, now we'll never know. But I think, like, my aunt may have had to come home that spring and take care of my mom to be her legal guardian or something, because it happened, like, my mom's, the spring of her senior year in high school. And so then that summer, I think, is when they went to Miami for a year. Anyway, it goes back to my grandma growing up. She did not grow up super, super poor, but her dad made her work. And she had this very Cinderella stepmom kind of situation. And so my grandma's dad, there was like, I mean, this goes back into like when you talk about family history, this is like, he was very upset about like the circumstances of like, I can't remember how my grandma's mom died, but he was like, I always heard that he was like a very angry man, and he was angry that he got left with these 3 kids. Well, then he married, and she didn't really want to help with the 3 kids. So my grandma, her job was taking care of her younger siblings and also going to school and all this kind of stuff. So she had gotten herself into this school and graduated at the top of her class. She was going to go to like, you know, all this kind of stuff. And she had bought herself on the day of graduation, she had bought herself like this dress from the money that she had made at her job. She was working at like a bookkeeper's office at that point and stuff like that. And it like was in this box on her bed, and she was so excited. Well, she came home like the day, it was like the morning of her graduation or something. She went to go get the dress, and her stepmother was like sitting there, and she had cut the dress up like in like 100 pieces. I mean, it's just like, it was stories like that my grandmother, like, I mean, it was just like one horrendous story after another, you know. She had a really, really tough time. My grandmother was very short. She like, I think she was like she was like 4'9" or 4'10" when she passed. My mom would always say it was because she didn't drink her milk. My aunt was, she'd say she had osteoporosis. My aunt was like, no, grandma was always short her whole life, and she was shorter than like everybody else. And so I think that she always felt like she had to prove something. She was a really, really hard worker. You know, like my mom would always feel bad about like she and my aunt had cars, but my grandma took the bus. Like that was a huge issue and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, you know, my dad would say, I think that your grandma just tried to make the best life that she possibly could for your mom and your aunt. And that was the only way that she knew how to do it. And she didn't want them to have the same kind of life that she had when she got older. My grandmother, if nothing else, absolutely loved my mom and my aunt. Absolutely loved. My mom and my aunt would like fight at Christmases, and I can remember my grandmother was like she like at Christmas dinner while we were sitting there eating dinner, and nobody said something else to her. My grandmother never drank. She was a teetotaler, which was one of the reasons why we think that like my grandfather, who was a bartender, was probably a pretty heavy drinker. He also died of lung cancer. He smoked like 5 packs a day. Is the stories that I heard. But like, I can remember my grandmother hated drinking. She hated when my mom and my aunt drank. She hated it. And would say to them, she would say, sisters, you need to stop drinking. She hated it. But I can remember Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving dinners. I mean, literally like the turkey is served and my grandma has an ashtray next to her. Literally, I mean, she smoked all the time. And always a cup, like always a cup and a saucer of coffee. That's how she drank coffee, always. And so I can just see her at the table, and she was sitting there, and my mom and my aunt would start fighting about something. They fought a lot. And my grandma would my grandma was a very, not hard person to get along with. She was so loving to Caroline and I mean, so loving to Caroline and I, but she was a hard exterior, like never showed emotion. And I can remember when my mom and my aunt would fight, my grandma would she'd just look over at her, and she'd just be like, tears just coming down her eyes. And she'd say, sister, stop fighting. She'd just say, stop fighting. We're not going to fight. She'd get very upset about it. Interestingly enough, my grandma also loved dogs. And the dogs that she always had were always like big black labs, German shepherds, and stuff like that. She always had these big dogs. She loved dogs. And I can remember when she passed, I don't know why this is one of the things I remember, but my mom was like, what do you want from grandma's apartment? And there were 2 things that I wanted. This is so weird. I think I still have it in the basement. You know what? I probably threw it out at some point. I have like all the furniture stuff stuck over there. I'm like, I don't remember putting it over there, so it must be thrown out. But remember I talked about the tall ashtray that my grandma had? I wanted that. And then my grandma also had this magazine rack that she would stack all of her Harlequins in. And I wanted that. It's like this metal rack. I don't think I have either one of those things. You know what? I think I may have given that. I'm like thinking back like the last time that I had like that tall ashtray. I can't even remember. I mean, I never had it. Like, I don't remember having it like in any apartment. So my mom would have had to have held on to it. And I don't remember seeing it. I don't know. I have no idea where that's at. I probably threw it out before I even like moved into my apartment. And I'm like, where's that ashtray now? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like one of those stands with an ashtray in it. So you can just like sit there on the couch and ash. Anyway, there's so much that goes into it. There's so much about like how poor my grandma was, that she ended up marrying this man who was my mom's stepdad, who was abusive, and in many different ways. This is not a save it for the podcast kind of thing. There's just a lot of stuff that I have found out that I don't think I've ever shared that. I'm not going to get into it, but it was something that was suggested by like this psychic that I went to, that then I found out that it was 100% true. So if I've mentioned it, I've mentioned it. I'm not, you know. I said to Caroline something. I said, you know, like every time I share stuff, people are like, that's not your right to share that story. She goes, who's laughed? She goes, nobody's laughed. Because, you know, Caroline said, just share whatever you want to share about me. She's like, I don't care what you share about me, you know. And I said something about like us sharing these stories. I was like, there's always people that are critical of it. She goes, it's not their family. She goes, it's not their business. She's like, we can share whatever we want to share about it, you know. I said something about like people think we should protect our mother. She's like, protect them from what? She's like, they're gone. It's not like they're coming back. It's not like we're ruining the reputation. They're going to come back for the reputation. She goes, they're gone. She's like, you know, she's like, there's 100 times worse stories than we could tell about the actual facts of their life, that things that happened to them, you know. But it makes a lot of sense when you look at things that happened and how my mom was. And when I say things like, if we had known these things about our mothers, then it would have explained why our mothers were so close but fought so hard, and why they mothered the way that they did. It would have explained a lot about our lives. But, you know, I'll save that for another video. But anyway, my grandmother was in this very horrible marriage. And, but it's interesting because both my grandfather, and that my mom's dad and my mom's stepdad were both good-looking men, like very good-looking men. I remember my mom talking about like he was from like Newport Beach, California originally, and played like guitar, and like for Father's Day, I mean, it makes sense to me now why like he came for Parents Weekend or whatever, because my grandma was in prison. It's interesting to me that he stood by her at that time. But I remember my mom has pictures like in the basement of him coming to like Father's Day or whatever at the Pi-Fi house. And she was like, all the girls were like obsessed with him. Like this is the early days of like Bob Dylan, right? And my mom's stepdad like played guitar, like on, you know, like he could like play any song on the guitar. It's like part of like how my mom like started learning guitar. My mom told so many interesting stories about him. She was like, you know, like she would talk about how he would like fish on the White River, like literally just like sit on the canal with his like friends, and he would just like fish all day long. Like he was, you know, just he hardly was ever employed, my mom would say. And that he would keep like some kind of like a catfish or something like in this tank, and then like he would keep like a crow in the kitchen in a cage. And she would say like, and it would just like this crow would constantly go off, and like she would like have like she would have friends or like a boyfriend come over to her house like when she was in high school, and he would just like grill these guys like, do you fish? I mean, it was like he was like a hunter fisher type, and he'd be like, do you fish? You know, what do you fish for, and stuff like that. And she'd be like, this huge fish was, she was like, it was so bizarre. She was like, it was just such a bizarre upbringing. And she's like, and we all knew it was bizarre. My Aunt Kathy was like so embarrassed by it. It was interesting because I was watching Kathy Hilton on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she did this dinner on the last episode where she put this dinner together for Bose, Dorit, and Garcelle. No, Garcelle's in Augusta, Georgia. I can't remember who else is over there. Bose, Dorit, Oh, and Erica Jane. And it's like the table setting and all this stuff. Like my aunt, like my mom was like that too, but if my mom was like a 5 out of 10, my aunt was like a 12 out of 10. I mean, you don't talk about table settings. I mean, Caroline's, I would say, a lot like that, but not as much as my aunt. I mean, my aunt would spend hours on a flower arrangement just for us, you know, and like I still have like the nameplates from like Christmas dinners and Thanksgivings that she specifically made for us, you know, that would say Peter and Alex on them, and special little, in frames. She would put them in frames and stuff. I mean, everything was like, she like Kathy Hilton had like lemons. This was such a cute concept. The whole thing was like, it was supposed to be Capri, which apparently now I guess is Capri. I didn't know it was Capri. I thought it was Capri because we have a restaurant up the street called Capri, but I guess it's Capri. Anyways, it was Capri themed. So it was all like lemons and stuff like that. It was beautiful plate. I love a beautiful table setting. Okay, a beautiful table. Caroline is so good at it. We never have a dinner party, but anyway. But she had these lemons cut in half. They were half lemons, and then in them she had like a card sitting in it as the place setting. It was such a cute concept. But I was looking at this and I was like, my aunt was not a whole lot different than Kathy Hill. I mean, of course, the money. Let's just be for real. But like, in her attitude, like, Kathy's always like about like how the pillows are arranged and how the food needs to come out. And like at one point she says, did you bring out like the fresh sage or something like that? Like my aunt was very, very much like that. I mean, and Alex loved that about her. I think it was one of the things that he loved the most about her. I mean, like even how a present was wrapped, you had to send a thank you note. I mean, my aunt was very loving and kind. I was saying this to Tanya the other day, that one of the things that was so interesting about my aunt is that I knew my aunt was a giving person. I mean, not just in birthday and Christmas gifts and things like that, but just in having parties, opening her house to people. Her house was gorgeous. I mean, and never once like anything out of place. I mean, it was, and the thing about my aunt's house is, you know, when you go to people's houses and they have like rooms where it's like they look like nobody ever sits. Like my aunt's house looked like that, but people sat in there and they used the rooms, and there was always candles lit and fresh flowers, always fresh flowers, and it just was beautiful, but spotless. I mean, and she cleaned. I mean, she had a housekeeper that came in like once a week, but then she would clean like every single day. And I was telling Tanya this the other day that was so bizarre at my aunt's funeral. I mean, it wasn't really that bizarre. I don't know why, but one of my aunt's friends got up and said, gave a eulogy, and one of the things that she said, these are the things that people didn't know that Kathy did. And she just ran off this list of things that, like, I never knew that my aunt did. That every week, like, my aunt was such a giving person. Like, I mean, I found out that after my mom passed away that my aunt literally, like, was basically feeding my mom. That my aunt was bringing over, like, she would make homemade soup and homemade breads, and she'd be like, she just called my mom and act like because my mom would have, like, been like, no, I'm not going to take it. But my aunt would be like, oh, I just made extra soup and bread, do you want it? But she would do it, like, it was kind of like this hidden language, like, my mom knew and she knew, but they didn't really say it. And Caroline told me that one day, and she was like, I didn't realize it. Like, my aunt was making, like, casseroles and soup, because she knew my mom would not eat. My mom was such a penny pincher, she would not have spent, I mean, her refrigerator was empty. And so my aunt knew that my mom wouldn't eat if she didn't bring her food over. And so my aunt would be like, oh, I made 2 casseroles. Do you want one of them? Knowing that my mom would eat this casserole for 4 days. And so then she would eat. I mean, I just think of, like, what a wonderful person she was, you know? But anyway, during her funeral, her friend got up and said these are, like, the things that people didn't know that Kathy did. And it was so many things, from, like, animal rescues, which is, I learned that that's where Caroline gets her love for it. I didn't know that she had done these things. To, like, she made something, like, every week. Like, in her home kitchen, she would get up at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning every week, and she would make, like, it was something, like, ridiculous, like, 500 sandwiches, and she would put together these lunch packets that were passed out to, like, these kids in schools that, it was, like, before, like, the programs and stuff like that were there. I did not know that she did that. I mean, she was not somebody that would tell you the things that she did. You know, I didn't know that about her. I mean, you talk about the epitome of altruism. She never once said these things that she did for people. And, anyway, so she and my mom just had, my grandma had a really horrible upbringing. Then she lost her husband early. Supposedly, my grandma's hair turned white overnight when her husband passed away. I don't believe that to be true, because isn't it that I think you get your hair color from, let's look it up. I always get this wrong. What side of the family, I know somebody's shouting it out there right now. I think you get, oh, it says here your hair from. You get your hair traits like color and texture from both sides of your family, meaning you inherit genes from, okay, so I thought it said both. Well, my dad grew out a beard and his hair turned whitish gray, salt and pepper, around, I would say 40. My hair turned like grayish white. I mean, it wasn't this white, but it started turning gray when I was about 23. And I colored it after that. My grandma, I don't know how old she would have been when my grandfather passed away, but supposedly that was a story that like overnight her hair turned white because she had white hair her whole life. I don't know that I believe that story, but she had a difficult life. My mom and my aunt had difficult lives growing up. We're very, very poor. And then my grandma sheltered them from that. And then my grandma was stealing. You know, when my dad says, I think that he didn't, everything she did for your mom and your aunt. I think it's because, I think he probably speculates like I do that she was doing it a long time before she got caught. That she was probably stealing for years and years and years and years and then just finally got caught, you know? I mean, we've looked into it a little bit more and like the company that she worked for, they loved her. I mean, I think they had to press charges. I don't even know that they pressed full charges against her or she could have gone to prison for a very long time. I mean, I think at that point, I mean, she had been a bookkeeper for this company for a very long time. I think at that point, she had probably stolen, I mean, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, the way that my mom and my aunt were living and the house that they had. I mean, one of the things is that the area at that time, so where they lived was 52nd and Central, okay? I mean, 52nd and Central, like Carol and I drove by the house and stuff now. Now, today, I mean, it's Broad Ripple. But that area that my mom and my aunt, I mean, it was a very small house. It was like a shotgun house, you know, but the house that they lived in today would probably be $1 million. I mean, no lie. And it was built way back then. I mean, the neighborhood and stuff is like, it's where all the like the fun restaurants, they call it Sobro now, like Soho, because it's like cute restaurants and bars and stuff like that. But it's a really, really cute area. When my mom and my aunt and my grandma lived there, it was like cheap. But what I found out later was, in doing some research, it really wasn't that cheap for that time. That one of the reasons why my grandma wanted to live there was because it was like walking distance to the high school. They could go to that school, they could stay in that school, and she could afford it. Well, for her to afford that, she wouldn't have been able to afford it on the money that she was making as a single parent. So I don't really know, I don't really know how all that worked. And anyway, I think she was stealing money for a very, very long time. But, you know, when my mom and my aunt were growing up, one of the things that they loved was movies. Loved movies. And my mom would tell stories. It's one of the reasons why I played it at her funeral. My mom would tell stories about, like, musicals. They loved musicals. And they would, like, do the musicals outside. Like, you know, they went and saw Singing in the Rain. What year did Singing in the Rain come out? Because this will make sense. Hold on a second. Because my mom would be like, dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's see. Which, incidentally, I've never seen all the way through. 1952. So my mom would have been 9 when the movie came out. And my aunt would have been 10, 11. They were 11 months apart. So my mom said that they would go outside and they would, like, you know, sing the songs and they would, like, do the umbrella situation in front. They loved going to the movies, and my grandma would give them money to go to the movies. And my mom escaped into the movies. They loved movies, my mom and my aunt. My mom kind of liked different movies than my aunt. It was interesting. Like, my mom always loved musicals, but my aunt loved, like, Elizabeth Taylor was, like, my aunt's, like, she loved Elizabeth Taylor. My mom, like, my aunt was, like, obsessed with, like, the royal family. My mom, not so much. Like, it's, like, that's not acting, obviously, but, like, they're just, like, their interests were completely different. But they both loved, like, old movies because they grew up on them, you know? My mom loved, like, the big movies. And so when she was growing up, like, in high school, one of her dreams was she almost wanted to study costume design. But she was like, I'm not a great sewer and stuff like that, even though she could sew in a sewing machine. Because she loved the movies, the costume designs by Edith Head. Edith Head was, like, is to this day probably the most famous costume designer in movie history. I've actually looked this up before. People said the other day, somebody commented and said, I love when you sit in front of the computer and you look things up. But anyway, I knew who Edith Head was when I was about 12 because my mom would talk about her all the time. My mom wanted to be the assistant to Edith Head. So Edith Head was born in, oh wait, it says 1897. No, that can't be right. 1897 she was born and died in 1981. Oh my God. So here is the Wikipedia on her. Oh, she was born in 1897, my God. Was an American film costume designer who won a record 8 Academy Awards for Best Costume Design between 1949 and 1973, making her the most awarded woman in America's history, at the Academy's history. I think that was part of it too, is that my mom loved independent, strong women. I don't know what she won her Oscars for. We should look and see. Oh God, she's designed for, I mean, there's hundreds of movies here. The people she designed for were Fred Astaire, Danny Kaye, Cary Grant, Clark Gable, Elvis Presley, James Stewart, John Wayne, Rock Hudson, Steve Martin. It goes on all the women: Shirley MacLaine, Doris Day, and Marlene Dietrich, Lauren Bacall, Rita Hayworth, Kim Novak, and Vertigo. I didn't know that. I want to see what awards she won. She won for The Heiress, All About Eve, Samson and Delilah, A Place in the Sun, Roman Holiday, Sabrina, The Facts of Life, and The Sting. And these are the movies she was nominated for. The Emperor's Waltz, Carrie from 1952, The Greatest Show on Earth, The Rose Tattoo, To Catch a Thief, The Proud and Profane, The Ten Commandments, Funny Face, The Buccaneer, Career, The Five Pennies, Pepe, Pocketful of Miracles, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, My Geisha, Love with the Proper Stranger, Wives and Lovers, A New Kind of Love, A House is Not a Home, What a Way to Go, The Slender Thread, Inside Daisy Clover, The Oscar, Sweet Charity, Airport, The Man Who Would Be King, and Airport 77. Can you even believe that she was nominated that many times? That is crazy. Anyway, my mom, when I was younger, she wanted to be, or when she was younger, wanted to be a costume. She wanted to be the assistant to Edith Head. She'd say, I always want to be the assistant to Edith Head. And so we would watch these huge movies like The King and I and stuff like that. She loved that. I think she did a lot of Alfred Hitchcock movies. And so that's one of the reasons why my mom loved the Alfred Hitchcock movies. So anyway, but that kind of like my mom and my aunt's escape into movies was part of my mom's, I think, love of the Academy Awards, because my mom would say, I can remember like practicing my speech, you know, like she would say, and I can remember doing that as a kid when I was young too, because my mom would be like, let's practice our Oscar speeches, and then that kind of got me into it, you know? And so my mom would be like, yeah, we're going to practice our Oscar speeches and we're going to do this and whatever. And so I didn't think I was going to go into this story this long. This is the kind of stuff that I used to do in my vlog. Now these are, they're kind of just like press conferences, but this is the kind of, maybe I should get, do you guys like this? Should I get back to the old storytelling? So when I was growing up, Oscar night was always a huge night in my house. And as I got older, like when my mom moved in here and stuff like that, she would always have like me and some of my friends over, or whoever I was dating at the time. And sometimes it was just she and I. And she would always like wear like a sweater like set. It was like silver. And she would say, you have to dress like your favorite celebrity, which we never did. But she would always have a name tag on that said Sharon Stone. And she'd say, do I look like Sharon Stone? She'd like tuck her hair. I'd be like, yes, Mom, you look just like Sharon Stone. She didn't look like Sharon Stone. But anyway, and she'd always make like cheeses. She'd get like special cheeses, Havarti cheese, which is one of my favorites. She'd always get like some cheese that had like raspberries or something in it. You know, my nose was itching so bad. And then like make, you know, a pot of coffee of like, she'd say, I have hazelnut coffee. And so it was like a big night for us, you know. And we'd always watch the Academy Awards. Oh, this is who I was talking about it to the other night, because it was Tanya when we were going to her birthday. Tanya and I were talking about, how did we get talking about it? Stuff that we, like how we were talking about, like mistakes that we make that we continue to do over and over and over again. Because after my mom passed away, it wasn't the first year, because I don't think I watched the Academy Awards. Maybe it was, I don't remember. But anyway, the one year that was my favorite was when I went to the movie theaters and I saw like all the movies that were nominated. That was the best. But I think it was that year, actually, that Tanya had me over to watch the Academy Awards. And so it was Tanya and Eric and myself. And I don't think Alex wanted to come, or I think he had to work late or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, no, it would have been a Sunday, so he wouldn't have had to work late. But anyway, I don't know. He didn't come for some reason. It would have been early when we started dating, first year or two. And so we were so excited about it. Tanya and I had like seen several of the movies. She had gone with me to a couple of movies. I had seen all the movies. So we leave. You know, the Oscars go late, right? So Tanya's recording them so we don't miss anything. So we had started it, and then she's recording it. So we're like, when we come back, we'll just pick it up. Well, Tanya's like, let's go get a fountain pop. So at like 9:30, 10, we go get a fountain pop. We drive around for like an hour thinking like, we'll just come back and we'll stay up till like 1 or 1:30 and watch the end of the Oscars. We were so excited because the end of the Oscars are the best. And we were like, this way we can just like fast forward through the commercials and all this kind of stuff. Well, we came back and Eric had stopped the recording to record something else. Oh my God, the camera stopped. Oh my God, Tanya was so pissed. It was so funny. Well, the next year, I think it was like 2 years in a row I went over to her house. And so like the next year, because she made like popcorn and like apples and all this kind of stuff. She always like makes, you know, like, oh, she made her like ranch dip stuff that she made. So anyway, you know what? Somebody asked me on here actually that they're making, while I'm doing this, let me text Caroline because somebody asked me what kind of mushrooms Caroline uses in her dip. What kind of mushrooms do you use for your mushrooms? Somebody said, are they just brown mushrooms? I feel like when I talked about it on here and I read the thing, she told me what they were. But anyway, for anybody that wants to make Caroline's mushrooms, you know what? I probably have it. I think she sent the recipe to me. Hold on, let me look and see if I have it. Don't you have to like, okay, where can you go into like screenshot it kind of things? Oh wait, a Christmas dinner notes. Caroline, you have become your mother. Oh, here it is, links. Okay. Here it is, the crock pot. You guys, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, this is from Caroline on here, 9 photos, 42. Should I just link the mushroom recipe underneath here? Okay, I'm just gonna link. Oh God, I hope I remember this. I'm just gonna link the mushroom recipe underneath here. So if you guys want Caroline's mushrooms, they're called crock pot mushrooms. Excellent crock pot mushrooms to serve with steak or just as a side. So this is what she makes. I'm gonna link them underneath here for people that wanna know. So anyway, the following year, I went over to Tanya's house. We were just talking about this the other night when we went to her meeting. Tanya's birthday is tomorrow. Her birthday is tomorrow. Yay! Happy birthday, Tanya. Anyway, so the following year, I went over there to watch the Academy Awards again. This was kind of like the last year, and then I was kind of like, okay, we're not doing this foolishness anymore. And then I kind of just was like, I feel like I took a year off from watching the Academy Awards, so this must have been like, or maybe 2 years off, I don't know. But anyway, I went back over there to watch the Academy Awards that other year. And then, like, Eric wasn't there either, so it was just Tanya and I. Because Tanya made some joke. I remember she was like cutting up, like making this dip and cutting up like apples and making cheese and making popcorn and stuff like that and putting this like these treat trays together for us. And she was like, well, Eric's not here, so we won't have any disturbance in recording things. And so the Oscars started and we watched like an hour of it. And then we were like, Tanya was like, okay, let's go get a fountain pop. This time we're not going to screw it up. And so she checked and made sure. Anyway, why is my nose driving me crazy? I don't know what is going on with my nose. It's driving me crazy. So she checked to make sure, and we go out. You know, this is back in the day. Tanya and I like get a fountain pop. We drive around, smoke cigarettes and stuff for a while. And we were gone for like an hour and a half or something like that. I think we drove by and saw some friend of ours. And we're like, we'll stay up late. We'll get, you know, we're not going to let what happened to us last year happen. Well, when Tanya checked it, she stopped recording. she like checked it, but like she turned it off like when she, so we had no recording. I mean, this isn't like the days of like when you could get on YouTube and just like Google search this shit and it would be like, you know, the whole, it was like we were screwed. It wasn't there anymore. You know what I mean? I was like, Tanya, how do you keep doing that? She's like, well, we can just find out. Like we can look on the news and see who won and stuff like that. I was like, Tanya, that's not how it works. So anyway, oh my God, that was so funny. So we were talking about that the other night. 2 years in a row, the Oscars were ruined. This candle it smells so good. Oh, the Candier candles. I was gonna look at this. Let me exit out of Caroline here. I thought she'd get right back to me, but she must be so busy today. Anyway. So I think that like the Academy Awards and movies like were an offer of escapism for the battery just went to the halfway mark. We're an offer of escapism for my mom and my aunt, you know? When I change the battery, I'm going to blow my nose because... Actually, let me go change the battery now and blow my nose, and that'll make it easier. I'll be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. My computer's doing that thing again where it's like, I turn it up, and then it like... It starts shutting itself down. Well, not shutting itself down, but going down a little bit. By the way, I just want to say something. I was talking to Nikki last night, and she was saying something about my vlog. And she was asking me about something that I said, like a show or something that I recommended in my vlog. And I said, you know, I just want to say I appreciate you watching my vlog. She's like, I love your vlogs. And I said, very few people, like in my real life, like, you know, watch my videos. Valerie watches my vlogs and Nikki watches my vlogs. You know, I think Caroline's son and his girlfriend watch my review videos, which, oh, Caroline just texted me. What did she say? Oh my God, it's a mushroom mystery. What did she say? Hold on. She said just normal mushrooms. I don't know what that means, Caroline. Okay, just normal mushrooms. I guess just like, you know, a pack of the mushrooms. But anyway, so I was saying to Nikki, you know, like when you go to my vlog, it's interesting. Like on the back end, I can see like how many views there are. I usually get just, you know, a little bit over 3,000 views of vlog. And probably about like 60 to 80 comments. Here, we'll look and see. Okay. So currently, like, okay, from my February 6th video, 3,000 views, 80 comments. The next day, before that, 38, 100 views, 100 comments. 33, 38, 49, 59, 42. I mean, it goes 54. But around 100 comments each, right? Now, I know that some of the people that are watching my videos are people that don't like me, but in all honesty, I think it's a very small amount of people that are watching me because they don't like me, which is crazy because then, and I know that, listen, I'm not somebody that comments on a lot of videos either, so, I mean, I hardly ever comment on a video unless I'm like really like emotionally moved or it's like somebody sharing their sobriety story or they got sober and I just want to show some encouragement or something like that. Like I hardly, or somebody's like, you know, sharing about a loss. I hardly ever comment on videos. So like, it's nothing about that, right? But I was saying to Nikki, I said, you know, it's crazy to me sometimes, like, I literally sit here and just talk about my life, like TV shows I'm watching, share stories in my life and whatever. And I said, and like 3,000 people watch it every single day. I was like, that is crazy to me, you know? You know, I said this on my BookTube video years ago, that I can remember when I hit 1,000 subscribers and I was like, I graduated with like 670 people or something. It was more people had subscribed to my BookTube channel than I went to high school with, which was super powerful for me as somebody that was not liked in high school and was bullied. I wasn't forcing anybody to subscribe to that channel. People just were watching that channel and that was really a cool thing to me, you know? And then to know that every day that I just get on here and I just talk about random BS and there's 3,000 of you out there that are watching it. And I said that to Nikki and she's like, I said, I don't really understand it, Nikki. Honestly, I don't. Like, I have so much fun doing this. And I mean, this is just fun. I really just feel like I'm talking to a friend about like stories from my mom, you know, and things like that. And I mean, this is very much like how Caroline and I talk and Tanya and I talk and stuff like that. The thing is, Caroline and Tanya know all these stories. So, you know what I mean? And you guys are like, yeah, we do too, Peter, because you've told us a million times. But, I love this so much. And I said to Nikki, I said, I just don't get it. And she goes, it's like, you really feel like you're just like, when I'm doing stuff and I'm watching you or I have you on in the background, she's like, I just really feel like I'm listening to a friend. I go, but we are friends. And she goes, I know, but I'm telling you, like, before we were really close and I watched you. She goes, you're just really relatable. She goes, you just share stuff that's going on with your life. She's like, there's no pretense to it. She's just like, this is just kind of how it is. And this is what's going on. She's like, she's like, there really isn't a whole lot of other people like you on YouTube. And it was just such a compliment. I just want to say I really appreciate that from Nikki. It was really sweet that she said that. But I sometimes don't understand it. You know, it's like when people, because this is kind of like, the two channels, like, you know, when people ask me like, well, what do you do? I'm like, I have a drama channel, and then Alex will be like, yeah, he's a vlog channel, he vlogs on every single day. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like my heartstone. And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? I'm like, well, I don't ever miss a day doing that. And they're like, unless I absolutely have to. And they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I can remember talking to like Jason and Melissa about this, and Jason just could not get over the idea. He's like, you literally sit there for like an hour and a half and just talk about your life and people watch it. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, who watches it? I'm like, people watch it. He's like, who is that interested in your life that they want? Like, oh, I don't know. You know, like, it's just crazy to me. But I'm so grateful for it. And I love this. I don't know. It means a lot to me. I don't get it. I don't understand why 3,000 of you show up every single day to watch my vlog, but it's very cool. And I'm super grateful for it. So thank you. Anyway, so yeah, so my mom would always make the special occasion because, you know, she loved the Academy Awards and all this kind of stuff. But we would, you know, I'd come over here. I usually come like halfway over through the red carpet and then, you know, stay through all of it and whatever. It was like this huge thing that my mom and I mean, I can remember very significant moments of my life being about, I can remember when Hilary Swank won for Boys Don't Cry. My mom literally was like bawling in tears. You know, it's interesting because I can remember watching that movie in the movie theater with my mom. And, you know, this was, I mean, what year did Boys Don't Cry come out? I don't even remember. If you guys don't know, Boys Don't Cry is based on the true story of Brandon Tina, who is trans. And my mom was really the one that wanted to go see the movie. I don't remember what year it came out. 1999. I mean, way ahead of its time. And I haven't watched that movie in so long. I just remember my mom talking about like what an important movie that was. I thought she was going to go crazy. There's this, I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but there's a really hard scene in the movie. I thought my mom was going to lose her mind in the movie theater, you know? I remember when, to this day, when Geraldine Page won for Trip to Bountiful, my mom was just like, yes, yes. I mean, we used to love all of that, you know, and the people that we would root for and, you know, all the speeches and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, people, I've had friends of mine be like, it's gotten so, like, political and human rights thing through it's always been that way. I think it's interesting that people say that. It's kind of always been that way. I mean, ever since I watched the Academy Awards, I mean, Susan Sarandon's always been that way. Frances McDormand's always been that way, you know? But I can remember, like, my mom, you know, talking about, like, who was it, Hattie McDaniels, I think is, like, the first, not just black woman, but I think black actor to ever win an Academy Award. Hold on a second. African-American actress, singer, songwriter, and comedian for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, becoming the first African-American to win an Oscar. I remember my mom talking to me about stuff like that, and like, you know, the first woman to win this. And I think that those things were so vital and so important to my mom. And, you know, I think we talk a lot about what we teach our children. And I think I was taught humanity and love for one another through things like that, you know? Anyway, the Oscars were always really, really important to my mom. After my mom passed away, I tried so hard, like I really did. It just didn't feel the same to me. It's kind of like the State Fair. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. I love the State Fair. It was something my mom and I did. You know, the first couple years, Alex was real sweet about it. He'd be like, let's go to the State Fair. I think there were like 2 years I didn't go, and then I was talking about like really missing it. And Alex was like, well, let's go. And so we did. It just didn't feel the same as years before when I had gone to the State Fair with my mom. It felt like something was missing. I think I just was still in grief. I don't know how I would feel. I haven't been to the State Farm, did I say State Farm? I meant State Fair. I haven't been to the State Fair in years. I think if I went today, it would still be nostalgic of my mother, but I think that I could go and have a good time today. I mean, I went and had a good time then. It just was like I was, you know, I don't know. The Oscars are kind of like that for me today. But then over time, I just kind of lost interest in it. You guys, I cannot believe it on my new tripod when I was just talking about it earlier. The leg fell. Can you believe it? While I was talking about the Oscars. Oh, here it's going. Oh, my computer's going in and out. I'm like looking at it go like in and out. This is so weird. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, like I was saying about, like, the State Fair. I just don't have the same interest in it. I don't even remember the last time that, like, I watched, like, all of the movies for the Academy Awards. I just don't remember. And, you know, and I think, like, over the years... Well, first of all, now I watch more TV shows than movies. But I'm really not interested in watching the Emmys, either, if you want to know the truth, or, you know, the People's Choice Awards or that kind of stuff. I don't really care. It's not going to affect my... You know, a lot of the shows that I like are not that shows that other people like. You know what I mean? And the other thing is, I don't really know a lot. I mean, it's like tennis. Like, I used to get so passionate when I was a kid growing up about... I want to get out of this because it's like it's going in and out. It's driving me crazy. When I was a kid, I used to be so passionate about tennis. Like, I knew, like, growing up, I played tennis, like, every day of the week. I played in leagues. I played in tournaments, you know? I knew all the people. So when I was growing up, like, Chris Evert and John McEnroe and Yvonne Lindell and Bjorn Borg and, you know, Martina Navratilova, and who's now in Real Housewives of Miami, and she's Julia's wife. But, you know, all these people that I used to watch back in the day, I mean, let me look it up. I can't even think of some of them now. Like, famous Pete Sampras, you know, tennis players in the 80s. Who am I forgetting? Chris Everett Lloyd. Who else am I thinking of? Who's the other female one? Jimmy, oh my God, Jimmy Connors. Chris Everett, Bjorn Borg. Oh my God, look at Bjorn Borg today. Oh, Stefan Edberg. I forgot about Tracy. Oh, Tracy Austin. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Athletes in tennis in the 80s. The most famous tennis players throughout the 70s and 80s. Let's see who it comes up with. Bjorn Borg. I was obsessed with Bjorn Borg and his long hair and the headband. Do you guys remember that back in the day? What did Bjorn Borg wear on the tennis court? Oh, here they show it. Always staying close to a pair of short shorts. Bjorn Borg was the face of the low shorts movement. Borg's signature look incorporated classic shorts, a fitted polo shirt, and a matching headband. I loved him. Oh my God, Vitas Gerulaitis. I forgot all about him. My mom was a huge fan of his. Oh, this is just all about vintage tennis outfits. No, we don't need that. Who are some of the women that I'm forgetting? Oh, Steffi Graf. Oh my God. Gabriella Sabatini. How did I forget some of these? The 5 most exciting women tennis players in the 80s. Chris Evert, Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf, Gabriella Sabatini, and Tracy Austin. How did I forget these? The best women's tennis players of the 1980s. Chris Evert, they're putting as number 1. My mom loved her. Martina Navratilova, Steffi Graf. Where are they today? Oh, this was one of my dad's favorites. Why can I never pronounce her name? Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. My dad loved her. Oh, Mary Jo Fernandez. I forgot all about her. This is so crazy. Oh my God. But anyway, you know, the same thing is like back in the day, like I knew all the tennis players when we would watch like Wimbledon or the US Open and whatever. I don't know any of the tennis players today. I couldn't name like other than, I mean, I don't even know if Venus and Serena Williams still play tennis. I mean, I know them, right? But I couldn't name 5 tennis players that play tennis today. I just don't watch it. Well, I know the people that are up for Academy Awards, but I haven't seen any movies, which means I have to see the movies, and I don't even know that I have that much of an investment. Plus, I don't even really care about the costumes, the outfits so much on the red carpet. I mean, I used to care that much about. I just don't anymore. You know. I don't know, my interests have shifted. That doesn't mean in a year or two it won't go back to that, you know? I mean, like this year, I was really trying to get excited about watching all the movies. I was like, I'm going to watch all the movies. I'm going to get really excited about the Oscars and the Academy Awards. I'm not feeling it. I'm like, there's not any of these movies that I really am that excited about watching. You know, and people will say, well, people don't go to movie theaters anymore as much, which I still love going to movie theaters. But that's part of the whole thing with the Academy Awards. I don't know that that's true because, you know, the years that I've watched movies from home, that have won Academy Awards, I've been just as excited about that as, you know, other things. I don't know, like, that has a whole lot to do with it, in all honesty. I don't. I'm not as excited about them as I used to be. And there's a part of it that kind of makes me sad a little bit, you know, about it, that I'm not as excited. Okay, this Oscar story has gone on for 2 hours, but it was like 20 stories in one. So, I'm going to go into this Candier official site. Today, only 20% off site if you want to go buy it. So here is a True Crime TV is my therapy. I would highly recommend that. The hot scent is very nice. It's cinnamon and nutmeg is what I'm smelling the strongest. Oh, they have Donut Worry, Be Happy. That smells like a donut. Okay. They have Lux Valentine's Day. These are the Be Mine candles. They have sweet oh my God, their candles are expensive. You did not have to do that, Mare. $36, $49 for the Fleur Cashmere Rose candle. Oh, it's pretty though. Okay, let's do let's see what their candles. Do they have sale candles? You know, I love a good sale candle. Oh, you can get a little birthday gift kit that comes with like a wick trimmer and matches. I think that is so cute. Sweet Treats bundle. Vacay. Okay, what is this? Hold on a second. They have bundles. Vacay Vibe bundles. So this is for vacation. You get Clubhouse Cabana, Dear Stress, Meet Me at the Spa, Bougie Beach Babe. $86.40. I might try those. Pumpkin Pies Before Guys. Oh, that's on sale right now. Fall is my favorite word. Those are on sale. Bestsellers bundle. Let's Go Girls. I can't. Okay. Oh, they have all these candles that attributed bundle. 10 candle collection. $288. Marked down from $360. Damn, some of these candles are expensive. Do they have wax melts, I wonder? All candles. Okay. Oh, candle subscription club. You know what? I might have to do that. $34. Oh, that's not bad for one box. Every month. Every 3 months. Oh, it goes down every 6 months. Okay. Join the Candier Candle Club subscription box and get surprise and VIP early access. Candles plus 25%. Okay. Details behind the monthly candle subscription box. The monthly candle subscription box will cycle through an assortment of scents and styles based on the season. Your candle subscription will automatically renew depending on the delivery frequency you selected. You may cancel anytime. Treat yourself or others with this gift. Okay, so add a candle must-have. Light up matches, wick trimmer. I don't need either of those. So, what do you get? Does it say? I mean, I guess you just get what? One candle? It's so interesting to me on these subscription boxes. They don't say, like, what you get. You will receive a 9-ounce candle plus your best-selling matches to light your new flame. I don't really use matches, but that might be kind of fun. But 1 month is $34. Oh, it's 15% off now, so $28.90, which is cheaper than one of their candles, right? How much are their candles? Mystery candle. Okay. Let's look at the new candles. 39, 36, 39. Why is it not just pulling up all the candles? I don't understand this. What's going on? Okay. 39, 36, 36, 36. I mean, the candles are so pretty. I'd swipe right for you. 34. So it's a good deal. I mean, if you pay full price and you don't get it, I have these sequins I can't show you guys. I wish I could. They're like, it's like lava in there. Oh, that is so cool. The rose ones are pretty. They're 49. I mean, but the average ones that are 36, that they rotate around. Espresso Obsesso. Oh, that's like a coffee one. That might be kind of... Oh, it looks like it has ice in it. Oh, they have a Vlasic pickle candle. It looks like, literally looks like a jar of Vlasic pickles. Bar stool quarterback. What does that smell like, I wonder? Sweat in locker rooms. Too cool for school. Oh, they have a lot of these that have this stuff on top of it. But different color ones. Upper A pickleball. What does this one smell like? Bar store quarterback. It's going to be like musk or something. A perfect gift for him. Leather, sandalwood, tonka bean, patchouli, amber, and dark musk. I was right. Their candles are fun. I don't know. I might try a month or two of their subscription box. Oh, they have a candle. Okay, so the wax warmer lamps, they have one. Oh, it's sold out. But they're $42. I really like the one they have. It's really cool. Those wax warmer lamps. You know what? I should look on Amazon. I should buy another one. Amazon. Wax warmer melts. I'm ready for my happy waxes to come. What are they called? What is it? Not showing up here. Hold on a second. Lamp. I didn't put lamp. Lamp. Oh, I put melts. Wait, I don't mean that. Lamp. Lamp. Oh, they have such pretty ones. I just want kind of like, oh, here's one I like for $32. It's all black. I like that one. I'd like to get one for the bedroom. Some people said they heat from underneath. I'm not finding that. Here's one for $17 that's pretty. They have all different kinds. So if you put on Amazon wax warmer lamp, it'll come up with that. Okay, let's get to last night. So last night, what did Alex and I watch last night? I think I watched... Okay, so... I don't remember what we did. He was watching something. Oh, he was watching Dexter, and he was down to like 4 or 5 episodes left or something like that. And so I was like, he was like, do you want me to turn this off so we can watch something? I said, no, babe, I've got so many shows to catch up on myself. I said, we're going to watch RuPaul probably tonight. He's upstairs watching Love Island right now or something. I don't know, he was watching Love Island earlier. So I said, just watch whatever you want to watch. I said, I'm going to take a nap here in a little bit. Anyway, I'm waiting for my vlog to get up. So while my vlog was getting up, I started on Southern Hospitality. I had the 2 previous episodes to watch and this week's episode. Okay. Southern Hospitality is a quick binge. I'm going to tell you guys right now, in another season or 2, it is so heating up. It is going to be the new Vanderpump Rules. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's going to be that hot. People are going to start picking up on it. Right now, it's so interesting because, like, I didn't see it at first, but, like, Emmy and Will are, like, Sandoval and Kristen Doty, like, the first couple seasons. And I mean, there's like a Schwartz and Katie is kind of like Joe Bradley and like Maddie a little bit. I mean, it's completely different characters. Maddie's a DJ. James Kennedy actually trained her and came on there and gave her some advice and stuff like that. But she, like this episode, she had she did a day. I was gonna say a resident. She did like a day spot at the what's it called? What's that new resort? Resorts World in Las Vegas, and they all went there. But it is so heating up, you guys. It is the new people that are on there are like Siobhan and Molly. They haven't really staked their claim yet on the show. They might be better. Like TJ, who's like the one gay guy, he's been so boring the last 2 seasons, but this season, he's like getting really messy and getting into things. I mean, the show is really heating up. If you want another show to binge, I'm gonna tell you, I think it's only like, I think each episode before has been like 8 or 10 episodes, and so this would be an easy show to catch up on, because people ask me all the time, what Bravo shows? Southern Hospitality is like the early years of Vanderpump Rules. And one of the things that's interesting about it is, like Vanderpump Rules, they started making so much money per episode that then you'd see them driving like Mercedes, Porsches, like every scene, the girls would have like a different Louis Vuitton bag. So they weren't really working at SUR anymore. They were just kind of acting like they were working at SUR. I don't know how much they're making per episode of Southern Hospitality. I should look, because Joe Bradley, who slept with Luann from Real Housewives of New York when they were on Watch What Happens Live one night, he said, which was a huge issue this season, but he said on there something about like they asked him something in Las Vegas, and he goes, we're poor, we're like servers, you know, like in Las Vegas. Somebody's at my door delivering something. Anyway, the camera just went off. I have so many packages coming today. I'm so excited about it. Okay. I ordered a bunch of vitamins too, but they all came earlier. I had to get new of those Thorne multivitamins, and then I ordered some other Thorne things too. And I put them all in my little, so like I have the medicine thing for my like, you know, epilepsy medicines and stuff. And then I had the other one, and I had it out on the counter, and it had like all the vitamins in it. And Alex came in when I had it like all together, and he goes, is that Pee-Pee's old medicine thing? I said, yeah. Okay. How much do they make on, you know, Bravo shows? I know that like on TLC shows, they make like $1,500 an episode, if that, which is ridiculous. Make on Southern Hospitality per episode. I'll be really interested to see what they make. The cast members of Southern Charm are reported, not Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality. How much do they earn at Republic? You'd be surprised. When I started working out at my master's program, I was making $40,000 a year. What is this? I made $50,000 moonlighting as a bartender. How much does the Southern Hospitality cast make per episode? The main cast allegedly get hefty paychecks, which is $25,000 per episode. However, starting in Southern Charm is not Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality. Southern Hospitality salaries. Why is it, this doesn't make any sense. No, that's not showing that. It's not what I want. Ooh, I don't want to watch that. Read this. Emmy reveals all about those Will Culp rumors. Pfft. It's not saying anything on here. Grace Lilly. What a mess. I really like her. I wanted more of her on the show. It doesn't say anything about their salaries on here, which I think is so interesting. But anyway, so I watched the first 2 episodes of Southern Hospitality. Then I laid down and I took a nap. Alex stayed down here and watched another episode of Dexter, and then he was like, I'm going to come upstairs and then I'm going to watch, I think he had one episode left of Dexter. My vlog got up. I was so tired. Oh, we both had like the most horrendous headaches yesterday too. I woke up a little bit with a headache today. I didn't take any Tylenol or anything and it went away after I got up and stuff. So we both had the most horrendous headaches yesterday. So I said, I have to lay down. I said, because I don't feel like my headache's going anywhere. It's like, I got to lay down. What is like, there's like a shadow over here. Do you see this? Only the shadow knows. Anyway, I was like, I have to lay down because I feel like that's the only way I've taken Tylenol and all this stuff. My headache's going to go away. So he's like, okay. So he came upstairs and he was getting ready to turn on a TV show. And then he was like, I'm just going to go to bed. I don't even know what time it was at that point. But I ended up laying down until, I think it was like 12:30. And I got up and Nikki had texted me. And so I went outside because I didn't want to wake Alex up. And I talked to Nikki. We talked for like 45 minutes. So we're laughing and howling and all this kind of stuff. And then I was like, I don't think I'm going to read tonight. I think I'm going to wait until tomorrow. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to get all caught up on my reading because she hasn't read for like the last couple days. So today and tonight, I'm going to read a lot, which is one of the reasons why I just want to kind of like take this weekend and like get caught up on some shows and read a bunch. And, you know, then all next week, film. I have the videos. Last night, I went through, actually, I have a list on my phone where it's like videos to make this week. And I came up with, so I have videos already all for the next week. So next week, I might film 7 videos on every channel every single day. We'll just see. Videos this week. Oh, I still have the date as 12/26. Let's change that date and put 12, or put 2/9/10. So I've got 4 drama channel videos. I've got 6 review videos. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. TV videos to do, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 booktube videos to do, and then my Peterisms is already, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm all set for videos this week. So last night I got up, talked to Nikki, and then I was like, I'm just gonna start watching shows. So let me tell you what I watched last night. So I came inside and I watched the last episode of Southern Hospitality. I really thought I was just gonna watch the O.J. Simpson thing last night because I was real excited about that. So I ended up watching last night Southern Hospitality, so I'm completely caught up on that and loving it, and absolutely loving it. And then I watched the newest episode of Murder on the Friday Night Lights. It's interesting because this one happened in 2022. It reminded me so much of like Carlitos' football team and stuff like that, because I don't know a lot about that, but it was about youth football team, and it happened in Texas in 2022, and I won't share the whole thing with you if you want to watch it. It was tragic. It was about, this guy had been this NFL player. He won like the Super Bowl 12 times. I don't even know what team he played for. I don't think they ever even said. But anyway, he was like the coach of one team, and this other dad was like the coach of another team, and he had actually played for like the University of North Texas. And apparently like in Dallas, like I mean, I know youth sports are like super serious everywhere and parents get really involved. I mean, I've witnessed it in real time. Even when I was growing up, like my parents weren't really that hardcore about the tennis thing. But I can remember parents just being like super, super hardcore about it. Where's like the shadow? Is the shadow from like the candle? Is that what's going on? We'll just turn the light up a little bit. Okay. So do you see the shadow? It's like right there. Anyway. I mean, parents, like, you know, managing their kids and the expectations of sports and perfection and stuff like that has always been a thing, right? But this was, like, about this fight that broke out over, like, some stuff that was happening during this game, and then somebody got shot and killed. So I watched that episode last night. It was tragic. It was really, really sad. It was interesting that the last two are from, like, the last couple years. So Tristan Bailey won, and this one was, like, I think his name was Mike Hickman. They were both really, really sad. So I watched that last night, and then after that, I was like, okay, am I going to watch the O.J. Simpson thing? And I was like, you know what? I need to get caught up on my shows first before I go in and watch something else. So I went in to watch Found. Well, Found is actually on a break, and so I don't know why, but it doesn't come back until next Thursday. So I didn't watch Found last night, so I went in and I watched Matlock. I usually watch Elsbeth then Matlock, but Elsbeth is my favorite of the two. So I went in and I watched Matlock last night, and then I watched Elsbeth. And I'm kind of like feeling like, oh, because I looked to see if Found was at the end of the season. And I was like, is it over? Like, I'm confused because it ended on like a kind of cliffhanger. So, you know, I want to look up here when is Elsbeth and Matlock finale. They just feel like ever-ending seasons. When is the Matlock season finale? It's going to say what? It's going to say the mid-season finale. The season 1 finale of Matlock series aired on... Did they consider that season 1? The new season of Matlock returned with a new episode on January 30th. So I guess this is just considered the new season. It doesn't say season 2, it says season 1. But anyway, it's good. I really, really like it. How many episodes? The Matlock season 1 finale release date is expected to be on April 3rd, 2025. And that's when episode 18 will premiere. Oh my God. Can't believe it. Is that when Elsbeth? That must be when Elsbeth ends too. So, okay, so I watched Matlock and I watched Elsbeth last night. And then, what else did I watch? I think at that point I was like, it was really late. I was like, I need to go to bed. So I watched Southern Hospitality, Friday Night Lights. I feel like I watched something else. Oh, you know what? I went through and I picked a bunch of shows out because, I will tell you, somebody sent me these 2 shows to look up. I can't even remember what it was on now. Hold on. Is anybody watching the new season of Dance Moms? Should that be a show that I watch and cover on my Peter Watches TV channel? Okay. Sarah, hey Sarah! Sarah sent me 2 shows to watch on Hulu called Killer Carnies and Prison Brides, which is on A&E. I didn't look up Prison Brides, but I looked up Killer Carnies. It only has 3 episodes out. I think I started it before, but it looks good. But anyway, I went through like all of my streaming apps last night, and I looked at like Hulu, Peacock, Paramount, Apple, and I like added all the Max, Netflix, and I added like all these shows to my list. So I think when I get the O.J. Simpson thing done, the next one I'm gonna watch is that new Swedish show that came out on Netflix. I really want to watch that. So I think that's gonna be the next one I watch. So, and then tonight, we're just gonna relax. We'll probably watch RuPaul's Drag Race here in a little bit, but I think that's the only thing left that we have to watch together this week. I have RuPaul Untucked, and then I have The Bachelor. People have said it's really boring so far, so I don't know that I'm gonna watch it. I'll probably watch the first episode and see what I think. And then Bailin' Out Loud, I think, has 3 episodes. I'm gonna start that. And then I want to watch the episode of Too Large as well. But I want to watch the episode of Too Large like the night before I cover it, so I might do that like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So I can just check that off my list. So yeah. So that's tonight. It's going to be super relaxing. Should we do more questions to ask? Fun questions to ask coworkers? Kids? Nah. To get to know someone? For your partner? To ask friends? Do you remember that game back in the day, Scruples? Scruples questions. For adults, funny. Let's see what this comes up as. 10 Scruples ideas. Fun questions to ask, getting to know people. That's on Pinterest. Wrote it. Bamboozle. A question of Scruples. Why does this one come up? What would you do if you were asleep on the bus and an elderly person fell asleep on your shoulder? Would you wake him or her up? No, I just let them sit there and sleep. I think that's kind of sweet, actually. Oh, it's not like I wanted to see if they had questions, but they can't. You have to. Oh, here's it. So somebody said, this is on the Julie James blog. I don't know anything about her. She said, so here's an interesting Scruples question for the weekend. My husband and I had friends over for dinner last night, and one of our friends posed the following scenario. It sparked a fair amount of debate between the 8 of us, so I thought I'd throw it out here to see what others think. Here's the question. Can you hold a parking spot? What? I'm so confusion. Here's the situation. Girl, I don't care enough to read this. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not wasting valuable energy. Okay? I am not doing that. Why is it Scruples questions flashcards? I wanted them just to be like online. Okay. Why is it like flashing so quickly at me? I don't understand. What's going on? Click the card. A friend asks you to write a reference for a job you feel he's poorly qualified for. Do you refuse? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, no, or it depends. Oh, I would refuse. I wouldn't be like, no, I'm not writing you a recommendation. I wouldn't be rude about it. I would be very honest about it. I would say I just don't feel comfortable doing that. Like, I'm sorry, like, I love you, and I don't know that I feel like you're fitted for this job, and I think you're going to be unhappy, and they're going to, you know, whatever. I would be real honest about it. I'm not putting I've done that before in the past. I have put my name on the line for people that then it came back. I mean, I've learned that actually, that is a lesson I learned very quickly. It happened like maybe once or twice to me where, I mean, not like a job recommendation where I put my name out there for somebody and then it came back to bite me in the ass, and I don't do that anymore. These are fun questions. I like these. Okay, let's read the next one. You find an expensive pen in a public lounge. Do you keep it? No, you turn it in. I always do that with money and everything. I think that's rude not to. Someone you don't really like invites you to an expensive restaurant you'd love to try. Do you go just for the meal? Oh, absolutely not. I don't waste time with people I don't enjoy anymore. And I can pay for my own dinners. When you pick up your car from the garage, I don't drive, so it's pointless. A friend who needs a job applies at your business. Someone who is more qualified also applies. Do you hire your friend? I don't know, because that's a difficult situation. I think also it brings into the question of like, do you do business with your friends? I mean, I've always been kind of like taught like not to do business with family and friends, so I don't know. I'd probably hire the person that was most qualified for it, just be honest about it, and be like, I'm hiring the person that's the most qualified for it. While a house guest, you accidentally break an expensive Chinese vase. Do you remain silent? No. And you know what? That kind of thing, not an expensive Chinese vase, but like that kind of thing has happened to me before where I've been somewhere and I'm like, I feel like such an ass, you know? I'll like at a dinner and I'll break a glass or something like that. I'm like, I am so sorry. I am literally that person that happens to. Alex is always like, oh my God. And I'm like, I am so sorry. And people are always so nice. They're like, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, I will pay for it. I will replace it with her. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, that has happened to me. No, you don't stay silent. Who are all these people that are answering yes to this? A bunch of immoral people. Okay, this is another driving question about waiting at a red light. I don't drive. You're not physically ill, but emotionally you're exhausted. Do you call in sick to work? Well, I mean, I work for myself, but I have a hard time doing that. I have a hard time taking the day off. I think we all know that. Sign up and see the remaining cards. I'm not signing up. No. I want free. Where's free? Scruples questions for adults. Funny hard. Funny hard. What does that mean? Okay. Questions of Scruples for the unscrupulous. For fun board games. Okay, so if you guys don't remember, there was a board game back in the day called Scruples. Oh, it says if you have scruples, you won't play this game. I don't know what this game is called. What is the game? Scruples? Question of Scruples. We used to play the game. It was like before Cards Against Humanity. Y'all know, remember that card. But why is it they don't have any questions on here? Moral dilemmas through the lens of flashcards. Okay, let's do this again. Flip the card. You find an expensive pen in a public lounge. Do you keep it? Do we not already go here? Someone you really don't like invite... No. We already know these. Question of Scruples. Okay, let's do this one. This one she writes all kinds... Okay, so here's an... The camera stopped. Okay, so here's an interesting Scruple questions for the weekend. My husband and I had friends over for dinner last night. And one of our friends posed the following scenario. It sparked a fair amount of debate between the 8 of us. So I thought I'd throw it out here to see what others think. Here's the question. Can you hold a parking spot? I feel like this is deja vu because I already read. Why is she pulling up all these times? It's like, that's more than once. Leadership Scruples. What would you do? I'm not a leader. Scenario Scruples and Solutions. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oh, my Lord. I am so scared to read this. Do you think I'll fail? Scenario, Scruples, and Solutions. Student Support Program. There's a guy in church that likes a lot of girls because he's a good cat. A lot of girls like because he's a good catch. Even though they don't admit to it, they compete for his attention and try to position themselves nearby him. There's an unspoken competition going on for his affection and attention. Sometimes you're not sure if the competition is driven by desire or for the guy or just a desire to win. Remember, as you imagine yourself in these scenarios, ask yourself these questions. First of all, you should ask yourself, why the fuck are you in church, okay? Hitting on this dude if you're so churchly. And these are the people that want to come after the LGBTQI plus community. Give me a fucking break. How would you feel in this situation? What are the other people involved probably feeling? Why don't you get your eyes on the prize, and that should be Jesus, okay? That's what you're in church for, all right? Connect with us through Instagram. No thanks. The endless testimony. There is an elderly sister in your branch who always gives a really long testimony every Sunday. That's me in my vlogs. I'm the elderly sister. All the young people just tune her out, and some even groan when she gets up to testify because she says the same thing every time. She's lonely and depressed since her husband passed away, and she gives all the details of her many illnesses. It's such a downer. Is that me? Am I the endless? Is there any advice on it? It doesn't say what you're supposed to do about the lonely sister. The elderly sister. It doesn't say. You overhear another church member making negative remarks about you. At first you feel like you can let it roll off your back, but after several days, this is called sticks and stones. You realize you haven't forgotten it. In fact, you are feeling more hurt and resentful than you were upon. Why are these people, why are you going to this church? Where's the support? You organized a church event. Not very many people showed up. The event went well, and everyone who came enjoyed themselves. But afterwards, you felt kind of bad that you put so much effort. This is like, what is going on? I'm so confused about this. Okay, we're going to get right on out of that. I'm sure that's going to pull up all kinds of shit in my algorithm probably now, you know? Okay. I've been vlogging for a long time. It is like almost 4:45. Okay. Why is it not? Look. Let's have unique questions. We want unique questions to ask a celebrity to really get to know someone. Because don't you want to get to know me? Get to know you. It was so funny because I sang this song in my drama video the other day. Lift me up. And somebody said it was lift me up before you go. And then somebody else said it was this, and somebody else said that. It's actually, I'll tell you what it is. The song, I think it's by Josh Groban. I don't know why it was in my head. But I don't think anybody, it's Lift Me Up by Josh Groban. That's the song I heard in my head. You Raise Me Up is what it's called. But all these people are like, oh no, the song you mean is this, and the song you mean is that. I was like, okay, well, none of you got it. Oh, girl. If you could have a superpower. Who comes up with these questions? Juicy, fun, deep, and random. Okay. that sounds like an ad on a dating site. Okay. 202 best questions to ask your friends to strengthen your bond. What if I don't want to? Juicy friends to ask your questions. What's the worst advice? About what? About what? When have you felt the most challenged? What's the hardest lesson you've ever had to learn? Who was your first kiss with, and did you enjoy it? Who was your first love, and why did you love them? I feel like I've shared all this on my vlog. What was your first heartbreak, and what happened? What's been your greatest accomplishment? These are questions. I want fun questions. What was your experience like in high school? I mean, you guys could probably write essays on this shit about me, couldn't you? Do you journal? If so, what do you write about? I vlog. I don't journal. I don't think any of these are really that fun. I want fun, different questions. Let's look up bizarre questions. Weird questions to ask. Okay. What are some good questions to ask? Some good weird questions to ask some. This is okay on Reddit. What are some good weird questions to ask someone to get to know them better? How much sawdust can you put into a Rice Krispie treat before people start to notice? What? Somebody said, a guy in my class who I'd not spoken to before but had seen around a bit sent me a Facebook message saying, would you rather have bionic arms or bionic legs? Just out of the blue, he sent you that message. Oh, girl, I'd hit block, okay? I wouldn't even respond. That's some weird shit right there. No, okay? Let's find out what happened. I typed a super long reply, ultimately giving reasons for both, and sent him a would you rather question too. This went on for a while. Messages got longer and longer, more and more personal till we went out on a date. That was a little over 6 years ago. He's now my husband and we have 2 children. Not a bad conversation starter. I think he's a serial killer on part-time though. He's on the DL serial killer. Here's this person's my new favorite personal. On an average, personal favorite question. On an average day, how many pigeons do you think you could reasonably carry? What? They also think you're weird for asking it. I mean, I wanted weird questions, but maybe not like this. What are you proud of but never have an excuse to talk about? Oh, that's a good question. That gets people to talk about things they've done and just want to bring up so you get to see what's important to them. I think that's really a good question. I don't even know. What conspiracies do you believe? Oh, baby, do we have all day? Oh, my God. I listen. The John F. Kennedy deal. Aliens. Oh, I definitely believe in Loch Ness Monster. Santa Claus. Fairies in the garden. Bigfoot's like really the only thing I don't believe in. Look, let's look up conspiracy theories. Let's see. I'll tell you what conspiracy theories I believe in. Conspiracy theories. Biggest. I just kind of look up stuff. I do like to just Google conspiracy theories of all time. Okay. List of conspiracy theories. 21 of the best conspiracy theories. Okay. Where do we start them at? Let's get going here. Where are they at? Is there orders? Okay, they're talking about 9/11, Princess Di. I don't even know that I think that those are conspiracies. I think that those are things that are so serious to talk about, okay? Subliminal advertising. Oh, 100%. I believe in that. The moon landing hoax. No, I don't. I think they walked on the moon. Why would we even think that that's a hoax? Okay. Paul McCartney's death. I haven't really thought about it a lot. John F. Kennedy. Oh my God, my mom wondered about that her whole entire life. Roswell crash and cover up. Oh, I 100% believe it was covered up. Elders. I don't know about that one. Satanic panic. What's the conspiracy? I mean, I think there was satanic cults going on, but I don't think they were. I don't know a lot about some of these. Birds aren't real. This one's so interesting to me. Have you guys seen this thing? Like there's bumper stickers. Remember I talked about that a couple years ago? I believe that birds are real. I've seen them. I've seen it. The earth is flat. The earth is not flat. These are like serious ones. Okay, this is reptiles run the U.S. government. Oh, this is the reptilian lizard thing. And you know what? When I talked about it, because I watched that documentary, which they don't say anything about this on the documentary. People were like, Peter, you might be real careful talking about that because I was going to do this whole video about it. I watched Sherry, what's her name? I'll tell you the documentary, what it's called. Hold on a second. Documentary about Sherry somebody. Sherry, the devil you know, or something like that. Watch The Devil You Know. Here it is. What's her name? Sherry Shriner. And she was the one that believed, oh my God, that is so good. Both of those, I think you have to pay for them. They're on Prime Video. Maybe one's free, but they are so good. I mean, you want to talk about a binge-worthy documentary. Season 1 is about this guy named Pazuzu that is like into heavy metal. That's kind of satanic panic stuff, except he was really killing people. He changed his name to Pazuzu. Anyway, he was like a serial killer, and it has a lot to do with like heavy metal and stuff. That one was so good. The second one was about Sherry Shriner. Sherry Shriner ran this like Facebook group, and she was like telling people that the U.S. government was run by reptilian aliens and stuff like that. Well, I was going to do a whole video covering it because I watched that documentary. I was so taken with it. I might still do it. I might watch that documentary again. The documentary is so good. But anyway, you know what? I should go back and watch some of my favorite like true crime documentaries. But when I was going to talk about it, people were like, you might be real careful talking about the reptilian alien stuff, like running the U.S. government, because apparently it gets into like racism and anti-Semitism and stuff. I did not know that. It doesn't mention anything about that in the documentary. I didn't know anything about that. People were like, be real careful talking about that stuff. So listen, when people tell me to be careful, I'm careful. I'm not going to talk about that stuff. So, but anyway, I'm going to go back and watch that again. Okay, we're not going to get into all that today on a desert island if you had to pick between being the world's best tetherball player and finding $100 on the street, what would you spend the money on? What? This is like when I was like meeting my friends in high school for the first time and they would say, is it round or an orange? Like they would ask me these questions that didn't make any sense. When I was managing and interviewing people for a higher-end pizza restaurant, we had to ask every person, if you were a pizza topping, what would you be and why? Oh my God, I would still be pineapple because it's so controversial. Got some crazy responses. Some of the better ones were dough because I spread easy. Beef because I bring the meat. Meatball because I can just roll with it. Those are so good. I live like to ask, what's your favorite smell? You learn a lot about a person. Edit. So I guess I should say my favorite smells are. Nobody asks you, girl. Nobody asks you, girl. Okay. What do you hate? Seriously, not maybe today I wouldn't be asking that question to people. You know? Okay, wait. Let's see some more questions. What's the largest mammal you think you could knock out with a single punch? Somebody put your ass. What's up? Don't be hitting animals. What's one superpower you would not want? Their answer could be pretty telling. If they answer seriously or sarcastically or don't want to play along. I asked my significant other this, and he said the power to command fish, and I was like, why? And he was like, I'm never around fish. I don't even understand that. I don't even understand. There's 819 more replies. Okay, let's get into this. The power to mind read. It's one of the things you think would be awesome until you obtain it and realize it was a pretty shitty idea and you don't want to know what people are actually thinking. It sounds like this person actually has this power, doesn't it? No, they're talking about Pokemon or something in here. This is why I don't get on the Reddit, because I don't understand shit people are talking about on here. It's a waste of time. Easy. Super smell. No, girl, I wouldn't want that one. Not around public restrooms. Is this going to go down? Please don't. On my brand new tripod. Somebody said they're easy. Super smell. There are a lot more bad smells than good smells. Somebody said can confirm and pregnant with side effects of super smell. Laser eyes, one sneeze, something precious to you is gone. Why is nobody picking up on this one person that said the mind telling? Oh, wait. I mean, did anybody respond to this one saying, I can't tell if they respond to this person saying, like, can you read minds? I don't see anything. Okay. A lot of superpowers aren't really so keen, like being able to blow things up. That's a superpower? And then all of a sudden there's an ad for New Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. Okay, girl, I see you. What can you talk about for hours? What's the best part of your day? Oh, are we back to the questions? Okay, I wanted the questions. I once had someone ask me, what's the worst thing about you? Somebody responded and said, guess what? I have flaws. I don't know. I sing in my shower. Sometimes I spend too much volunteering occasionally. Oh, my Lord. When's the last time... Oh, somebody asked, when's the last time your D has gotten direct sunlight? Somebody said, I don't know if my D ever has. Every day. Does direct mean not through a window? These questions on here. Ask them their favorite holiday. See if it's a more family-oriented holiday or a more social holiday. What? Some of these are so bad, you guys. I can't even read them on here. My new coworker of 2 days asked me, if someone offered you $10 million for a quarter pound of your flesh for them to consume, would you do it? And that is gross. No. The New York Times has a piece about the 30 questions that lead to love. The title notwithstanding, it can be, here is a list of questions for those who don't want to click through each question. Okay. Given the choice by anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? Thumbelina the squirrel. I would love to eat avocados with her. No, and I'm being honest about that. Would you like to be famous? In what way? I mean, YouTube famous. Not really, no, I don't. I like, I like kind of being able to float through a mire and not nobody know who I am, or the Costco. You know what I mean? I don't, like, this is good for me. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say and why? I guess sometimes I do. What would constitute a perfect day for you? Oh, today's a pretty perfect day. Sleeping in, hanging out, watching TV with my husband, talking to y'all in the vlog. It's a perfect day. Reading, watching some TV. When did you last sing to yourself, to someone else? I think yesterday in my video, or probably today in my video. Did I sing? I did. I sang the Josh Groban song today. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 6 years of your life, which would you want? Oh, I definitely the mind of a 30-year-old. Stay sharp. Plus, I've had so many friends and family members, friends of mine that, well, Caroline's mother-in-law that, you know, had dementia, and I feel so bad for them. Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. I mean, we have like 100 things in common. I mean, everything from like really meaningful things to really stupid things. We love to travel. We love to travel to Mexico, Las Vegas. We love to go out to dinner. We love to order dinner at home. We love to laugh and tell each other jokes. We love to dream. We love to come up with ideas for the future and projects for the future. We love TV shows. We love RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, everything from, you know, whatever. For what in your life do you feel the most grateful? The 3 things I say every night in my prayers: my life, my health, and my sobriety, in that order. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? You know, there's a lot about things about the way that I was raised that I don't like, that probably like led me to be who I am today. So I wouldn't change them for that reason. But that if I could go back, like, I mean, definitely dealing with like my mom's addiction stuff was really, really difficult. I think I've also made it through to the other side, and she got sober. And so I'm able to share that story with other people and give them hope. So it's super powerful. I think it also was the thing that allowed my mom and I to be so close in adulthood. And so us being sober together, so I wouldn't trade it in, you know? I don't know. I don't think so. There were a lot of things about my childhood that were just absolutely amazing. Going to the lake with my dad on the weekends, traveling with my dad, stuff like that. I mean, my dad and I had so much fun. You know, both of my parents it was really important for them to like show me certain movies, have me read certain books. You know, what do you value most in friendship? Loyalty. What is your most treasured memory? My most treasured memory in the entire world? I don't know, I have so many. Just kind of scanning through these. Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life. He knows the most embarrassing moment in my life because I was with him. He was with me when it happened. And I don't think I've ever talked about it on video. It's so silly if I talked about it. You guys would be like, oh my God, Peter, it's so still. It's something that happens to a lot of people, but I just was, in the moment, I was so embarrassed about it. And it's something so silly and so stupid. When did you last cry in front of another person? Be yourself. By yourself. Oh, I don't know. Last night by myself. Did I cry in this vlog? I cry almost every day. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? Okay, so this is a really important question, and I'm going to end on this because the battery just went to the halfway mark already. How long have I vlogged today? This is one of the things I learned with my mom, that I was able to have the last conversation with my mom before. I mean, we knew that things were not good. And so before she ended up going into the last coma that she was in, before they, did that, we had the last conversation. I got to ask her, a lot of questions. We got to share memories and things like that. I'm so incredibly grateful for that. But not only that, my mom and I had a relationship where we opened up to each other all the time anyway. Always were sharing things with each other. Always were opening up to each other about things. So when my mom passed away, there was nothing left unsaid. There was literally nothing that was left unsaid. My dad and I were already like that. My stepmom and I were already like that. So it was really important for me to even work more on that with my dad and my stepmom. And then that went into, relationships, my relationship with Alex. Alex and I know exactly how we feel. Tanya always says this about people, and she'll say, they know I love them. They know how I feel about them. Tanya has been somebody that has always been let somebody know in the moment how you feel about them. Do not wait. My friends, my family, I am very excessive with my words and how I feel about people. Not just, oh, I love you or you're important to me, but I'll say to people, like, this is why you're important to me and this is what you mean to me and whatever. I think it's really, really important. I think we wait till funerals to say how much people mean to us and we don't tell them at the time that they're here. And I think in going through what I went through with my mom, it really, and being so thankful that I had that with my mom, that it made me really, really realize how important it is to say things to people while you have the opportunity. I don't wait anymore. I just don't. And I haven't since my mom passed away. If I feel something, I say it in that moment to somebody. If I have an issue with somebody, I don't hold on to the grudge. I work through it or I let it go. If it's not going to change, I say, you know, season, lifetime relationship, I let it go. I move through it. Makes me sad sometimes, but I let it go. I don't hold on to the grudges today. I just don't. It's one of the questions of like, where do I put my energy? I say things to people. I let them know how I feel today. I think it's very, very important. We're on borrowed time. Any of us could go tomorrow. We don't know that. The accident even reaffirmed that for me. And so I think it's really, really important to tell people how you feel when they're here. And, maybe not like if you can't stand that person. I don't think it's necessarily important to tell that to them unless it's important for you to tell them that. I think those are things, but like if you really care about somebody, if you really love them, even if it's just, you know, Aunt Judy's broccoli casserole you love and look forward to it every Thanksgiving, let her know that. That might be something that she takes pride in, you know? Or, I don't know, the neighbor on the street that every time that they wave to you, it just makes you happy. Let them know that. I love to see you. You know, I say that to my neighbors. It makes me so happy when I see you. You know, it's like the other day when my neighbor came out, I was like, I haven't seen you in a long time. Let's catch up. You know, it's like, let people know how much they mean to you. You know, I think when you get to the end of your life, like my mom said, it's not the things you look back on that you never, that you did that you regret. It's the things you never tried. As I've gotten older, what I've realized is the relationships that I have with people, the interactions that I have with people in my personal life and with you guys are the ones that are the most meaningful. They're the things that when I look back on, they're the stories that I tell of my family and the Oscars. And it's not about the Academy Awards. It's about watching them with my mom. That was the story that I was telling, or going to the fair with my mom, or traveling with Alex, or you know what I mean? It's like, it's about the relationships and the interactions that I've had with people. And I think we deserve to let people know how much they mean to us, you know? And I think, why wait until the very, very bitter end? What a better time to let somebody know while we're healthy and able to enjoy that relationship and return it and say, oh my God, I love you too. And I love your, you know, orange bread that you make for me. Well, let's get together and have, you know, broccoli casserole, orange bread more often. I think we're afraid to tell people those things. You know, it's like when I was younger, people, you know, like the whole idea of like, I wait a while to say I love you. Why? You know, we will throw insults and complaints and hate around the world, but we are so protective of the love and compliments we give to people, and probably those are the things we should be giving to people more. Give out compliments freely, give out love freely. I mean, you know, I think people will say, well, I don't want to get hurt, and so that's why I don't love easily. Well, you're going to get hurt anyway. You're going to get hurt by people that are angry and miserable and resentful, and, you know, but you only get hurt on the level that, like, their anger and their whatever towards you. Baby, water off a duck's back. That's on them. They want to spend their time being miserable and not liking you. That's on them. Spend the time with people that love you. Spend the time doing things with people that you love. It's one of the reasons why I love making videos and I love vlogging, because I love doing this, you know? And I'm so incredibly grateful for you guys. I will be here tomorrow. I don't want to interrupt the Super Bowl game, so I'll probably post it afterwards. No. But anyway, let me know what you guys are doing this weekend. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you guys watching this every single day. Thank you so much. Well, almost every single day. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.